Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Set Reviews with Lock Daddy. Today we have a nice special edition of our reviews, and it's featuring Modern Horizons, the newest set coming out of Magic the Gathering, featuring legacy reprints and brand new cards for targeting specifically the modern format, which is, but for all intents and purposes, one of the best formats in Magic. Maybe the best. I don't know. A lot of people think it's the best. A lot of people play it. It's certainly the most popular at the shop that I play at. We have like 50, 60 players every Friday playing it, 5 rounds. It's by far the biggest tournament there. They have standard and limited going too on Fridays, but they don't ever get near 60 people. So, all right, let's get into it. One special thing about this set is there were no modern reprints, so no cards that were previously in modern were reprinted for this set. Only legacy cards, some legacy cards, not very many, and brand new cards that are just for modern. These aren't playable in standard, so just modern, legacy, and vintage are going to be able to play with this set. Eternal formats, as it were. All right, so let's get in there. Card number 1, Morophon the Boundless. Changeling. Okay, Changeling, this is a theme of the set. This has been around in other sets. It's the card is every creature type, so that affects many different, cards in the game, past and present. As Morophon, the Boundless enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Spells of the chosen type you cast cost 1 of each mana cost less to spend. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana. Other creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+1. This is kind of like I don't know, I see this as like a commander card. I don't really think this card is going to see play in any kind of constructed format. Answered Prayers. 2 white, 1 colorless. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. If Answered Prayers in a creature, it becomes a 3/3 angel creature with flying in addition to other types. This is like a Soul Warden, a 3-cost Soul Warden. Actually, it's only a one-sided Soul Warden. It's only when creatures come into play on your side. Yeah, this card's not that great. I can see using this in limited, but not really good in constructed. Astral Drift. Enchantment. 1 white, 2 colorless. Whenever you cycle Astral Drift or cycle another card while Astral Drift is on the battlefield, you may exile a target creature. If you do, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This card seems okay. Being able to cycle and get like a 2-for-1 out of it kind of thing. You could maybe see this card in it's kind of like a Resto Angel, but it costs 3. And instead of having like a 3/4 body and the blink effect, it's basically just draw a card and the blink effect. Stonered. No, this is not Let It Die. I will be playing that later, probably. This is a Magic set review. It's on Magic the Gathering. I have it on the right title. Yeah, I don't think this card's good enough. I think just like Resto Angel is better than this for like Death and Taxes purposes. I don't know. It may see play. Battle Screech. 2 white, 2 colorless. Create 2 1/1 white bird creature tokens with flying. Flashback. Tap 3 untapped white creatures you control. This is kind of like a lower power Lingering Souls. Probably only good in limited. Dismantling Blow. 1 white, 2 colorless. Instant speed kicker, 1 blue, 2 colorless. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If the spell is kicked, draw 2 cards. Again, it's pretty expensive. 6 mana. You're probably not going to play this card in any Eternal format, but this is definitely limited playable. And it's good late game and limited because you can draw cards off of it, so it's decent. Enduring Sliver. Okay, slivers are another thing in this set. There's a lot of new slivers. So this might make the sliver deck in modern like top tier, because there's that one dude who always plays the sliver decks in like modern tournaments, like SCG Opens and stuff, and even Grand Prix. And he's almost top 8'd with it several times. He's like just missed it. I think he's gone like 11-4 a couple times. Okay, so Enduring Silver, 1 white, 1 colorless, 2/2. Outlast, 2 colorless. Put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Outlast only as a sorcery, and other slivers you control have Outlast. Outlast is an ability that was, I don't know, like I want to say like 8 to 10 sets ago. I can't remember what it was actually in. It's fairly recent, within the last few years. The ability has never been that good for like standard or anything, but I don't know. This might be a thing. I don't think the sliver player is going to use them because there's just better slivers. Ephemerate. 1 white, instant, exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield on its owner's control, rebound. This is actually kind of cool. In like a Death and Taxes type deck with, because it does it twice, so you can get like, I don't know, you can save a creature from dying, and then like on your turn you can blink a Blade Splicer and get like another 3/3 out of it. I don't know. This might be playable in like a Death and Taxes type deck. You see Kid Buu on my shirt? Yeah. You got the whole you got like the whole crew of DBZ on my shirt. Booyah. DBZ forever. Alright, Face of Divinity. 1 white, 2 colorless, enchantment, aura. Creature gets +2/+2. As long as another aura is attached, it has first strike and lifelink. Again, I think just in a deck like Bogle's, this card's like just too expensive. I mean, it's decent effects, but again, like limited, perhaps limited playable, even though enchantments are just not very good in general, creature enchantments. But you've got better enchantments for Bogle, so that's probably not going to see play. First Slivers Chosen. 1 white, 4 colorless, silver creatures you control have Exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each instance of Exalted. And it's a 3/3. This is a little bit too expensive to play for its power. Probably won't see play in Constructed. Alright. Force of Virtue. Okay, this is the first of the Force cards. There's one of these for each color. Force of Virtue is the white one. It's 2 white, 2 colorless enchantment. However, if it's not your turn, you may exile a white card from your hand rather than paying the spell's mana cost, and then it has flash, and creatures get +1/+1. This card, I think, is maybe playable. I think all the forces might be playable, but this one's kind of like one of the weaker ones, I think. You can, like, you know, if you were to play this in, like, Spirits or something like that in Modern, you could like flash it in to like save your creatures from like a lightning bolt or something like that on your opponent's turn, and then you would have a, you know, the enchantment effect in play that would just buff all your creatures. But I mean, you have like creatures that do that already, and you have Ether Vial in the deck, so I don't know if this card fits into any decks really currently. But it's a cool card. I love all the Force cards. They're really good. Generous Gift. 1 white, 2 colorless, instant, destroy target permanents, controller gets a 3/3 green elephant creature token. Okay, so this is basically just a white version of Beast Within. Exact same casting cost, except white instead of green. I think this card will get played. I mean, white does have a lot of removal and permanent removal, but this might get played. I mean, because you can target your own stuff too, so I could see this maybe in a control deck if, like, you are needing some damage or a time clock against your opponent. You can just like hit one of your own lands or something like that and just start swinging them with a 3/3 elephant. It's got that, like, you know, utility where you can kill something your opponent has that you really need to get rid of, or you can give yourself a 3/3 creature. So I think this card's going to get played. I don't know how many are going to get played in like a control type deck, but I can see like one of these main deck for sure. Gilded Light. 1 white, 1 colorless instant. You gain Shroud until end of turn, and it's got cycling. So this card can like save you from like a burn spell. Or like sorcery speed burns. This can save you like for like a turn against like a burn deck or something like that. Other than that, I don't really see a purpose of that card. It's not great. Kind of a super specific card that's not really going to do that much. Giver of Runes. This is the new Mother of Runes-esque card. 1 white, 1/2. Tap another target creature you control gains protection from colorless or the color of your choice until end of turn. Unlike Mother of Runes, this creature cannot target itself, which kind of makes it vulnerable to any removal, which was why Mother of Runes is so good, because she can protect herself. I mean, they added colorless as well to this card that you can gain protection from, which Mother of Runes is just any color. You can't do colorless with her. But again, this card can't protect itself, so I don't know how good this card is going to be. I can't see it being played in Modern, but it might. Imposter of the Sixth Pride. 1 white, 1 colorless, 3/1 Changeling. Okay, there's another Changeling card. It counts as every creature type. Again, I don't know how these Changeling cards are going to impact, decks like Merfolk or Elves and things like that, but this one's just a vanilla 3/1. Probably not going to see play. A regular cohort. 2 white, 2 colorless. Creature Shapeshifter. Changeling. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 colorless Shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. So basically you get 2 2/2s for 4 that are every creature type. This card seems kind of good. I mean, it's that magic 4 mana, which is pretty much the top end for the curve in Modern. This card might get played. I don't know. I mean, it's a white card, so I don't know any... I don't know. King of the Pride. 1 white, 2 colorless. 2/1 creature. Other cats you control get +2/+1. Yeah, this seems oddly specific. Yeah, I don't think this card is going to be played in any kind of constructed fashion, but it might be in some homebrewy type thing. Knight of Old Benelia. 3 colorless, 2 white, 3/3, suspend 5 for 1 white. When Knight of Old Benelia enters the battlefield, other creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. This card, I don't know. Suspend 5 is a really long time. So that means it comes into play on turn 6 as a 3/3, and it gives you kind of like an Anthem effect for 1 turn. Again, I think it'll be good in Limited, but probably not going to see that card in Constructed. Lancer Sliver. 1 white, 2 colorless, 2/2. Sliver creature control off first strike. This is like kind of a reprint. I don't know if it's called Lancer, but I know there's one that gives first strike to all of them, so it's not really new. Martyr's Soul. Guess this one doesn't have a big picture. Convoke. Your creatures can help cast the spell. When Martyr's Soul enters the battlefield, if you control no tap lands, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. That's actually not terrible. Oh, if you control no tap lands. Okay, so you basically, if you put it out with just creatures, it's a 5/4. I don't know. You could do it with like Lingering Souls, or like maybe in like a... But again, it's just a 5/4. It's not flying or anything. I don't know. The card seems... I don't know. Probably not playable. On Thin Ice. 1 white, snow enchantment aura. Enchant snowland you control. Snowlands are also something they brought back in the set, so there's going to be like snowland effects and things like that. Things that only cost snowlands to play and things like that. When On Thin Ice enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until On Thin Ice leaves the battlefield. Oh, so this is like Chained to the Rocks, which is the 1 red enchantment that says enchant a mountain you control and then exile a creature until it leaves the battlefield. This might be pretty good. I mean, it's sorcery speed removal, so it's not the greatest, but it is only one white, and it exiles. So I could see this maybe being played. I don't know. In like this would have to be in like a control deck or like a mono white deck, like a blue white or a mono white. It could maybe see play. Ranger Captain of Eos, 2 white, 1 colorless, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with current rank 1 or less. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Sacrifice Captain. Your opponents can't cast non-creature spells this turn. This seems alright. This is another Death and Taxes type card. Or Soul Sisters. Although they have one that gets 2 creatures in Soul Sisters, so this guy's kind of eh. I can't remember the other creature that gets you 2 1-drop creatures. But that's the one that gets played in Soul Sisters, so I think it's better than this one. It's kind of like a not as good version. Recruit the Worthy, 1 white, buy back 3, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. So you can play it on turn 1 or you can play it on turn 4 and get a buyback. This card seems kind of weak. Seems kind of bad. Even in like, you know. I mean, well, in limited, if you have a board stall and, you know, you just keep making like 1 or 2 1/1s a turn, I guess you can end up overwhelming your opponent, but okay, Reprobation. 1 white, 1 colorless, enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a coward with base power and toughness 0/1. Nice, it becomes a coward. This is kind of like a pacifism effect. It's not pacifism, but a card like this can take care of like the new God Eternals that always come back, even if you exile them. So if you kill them when like that card's on them, then they stay dead. I don't know. Probably not going to see play, but unless the God Eternals become more prevalent. Rock's Veteran, 3 colorless, 1 white, battle cry. When it attacks, tap target creature and opponent controls. This seems really good in limited. That's probably it. Segovian Angel, 1 white, flying, vigilance, 1/1. Not great. I don't see that card getting played in any format. I guess it could be like a filler card in limited. Sarah the Benevolent. Okay, she's been out for a while. 2 white, 2 colorless. She was like the first spoiler. +2 creature control with flying at +1/+1 until end of turn. -3, create a 4/4 white angel token with flying and vigilance. -6, you get an emblem with, if you control a creature, damage that reduces your life total to less than 1, reduces you to 1 instead. So she's basically I'm blanking on the enchantment name. There's an enchantment that does the exact same thing, and she makes an emblem with that. She seems okay. I don't know if she's playable in like a control deck. I mean, she only does cost 4, and she makes a 4/4 white, you know, Sarah Angel basically, and stays alive. So if you get 2 more turns with her, you can make 2 angels. You can +2 her, then -3 her again. She dies, but I don't know. She might be good enough. I'm leaning on the not side, but she is a win condition. It's just that her plus is kind of irrelevant, so if she had a better plus, I think she'd be really good. Okay, Settle Beyond Reality. 4 colorless, 1 white. Choose 1 or both. Exile target creature you don't control. Exile target creature you control, then return it to owner's battlefield under your owner's control. This is sorcery speed. Not great. I mean, you can definitely play that in limited. It's a removal, an exile removal. Shelter. 1 white, 1 colorless. Instant target creature you control gains protection from color of your choice until end of turn. Draw a card. I think versions of this card. There are much better versions of this card that are cheaper. It does let you draw a card, and it's still instant speed, but yeah, probably not good enough. Sisei, Weatherlight Captain, 2 colorless, 1 white, 2/2. Captain gets +1/+1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. 1 of each color. Search your library for a legendary permanent card. Converted mana cost less than Sisei's power, and put that card on the battlefield. This is like a commander card. I don't really see a place for this card anywhere else. Soul Strike Technique. 1 white, 1 colorless. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. When enchanted creature dies, manifest the top card of your library. Okay, manifest. That was something that was. What was manifest in? Was it in modern? Was it in 2015 core set or Origins? Maybe it was in Origins. So manifest is like it takes a card and puts it face down as a 2/2 creature, and then if it's a creature card, you can pay its mana cost to flip it over. Yeah, I don't think this card's very good, even in like limited. Again, creature enchantments are just not where you want to be usually, because you can just get 2 for 1. I mean, it does let you have a 2/2, but alright, Splicer's skill, 1 white, 2 colorless. Create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact token, and you can splice it onto sorcery for 3 colorless and a white. This is sorcery speed. If this were instant, I think this card would be decent. You could play it maybe in like a Death and Taxes type deck, but probably only like limited for that. Stirring Address. 1 white, 1 colorless. Instant speed. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Overload. 5 colorless, 1 white. So all creatures get +2/+2. Yeah. I can see that in limited. That's it. Trustworthy Scout. 1 white, 1 colorless, 2/2. 1 white, 1 colorless. Exile Trustworthy Scout from your graveyard. Search your library for a card named Trustworthy Scout. Reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle your library. This is kind of like Squadron Hawk, but Squadron Hawk's like 10 times better. Yeah. Not terribly good. Maybe if you had some number of those unlimited, it might be okay, but they're still just 2/2 vanilla creatures. Nothing special there. Valiant Changeling. 5 colorless, 2 white, 3/3. The spell costs 1 less cast for each creature type you control. This effect can't reduce the amount of mana this spell costs by more than 5. Changeling. Double strike. Okay, so they're trying to make it so you can make like a Changeling deck. I don't know. So if you have 1 Changeling out, which is all creature types, this thing only costs 2 mana. Okay. 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 3/3 double strike is nothing to be trifled with. Double strike is a very powerful ability. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there's a Changeling deck brewing. Maybe there's a spicy Changeling deck coming into focus here. Vesper Lark. 1 white, 2 colorless. That's a crazy picture. 2/1 flying. When it leaves the battlefield, return target creature card to power 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Evoke 1 white, 1 colorless. You may cast a spell for its evoke cost. It's sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. This is kind of interesting. I mean, it does cost 3. If this thing cost 2 to play, it would be playable, I think. But at 3, I don't know if this is playable. It's got some interesting things about it. Maybe some recursion thing, but I don't think it's good enough. Wall of 1,000 cuts. That's a lot of swords. Flying Defender, 2 white, 3 colorless, 3/5, 1 white. Wall of 1,000 cuts can attack as though it didn't have Defender. This card's pretty bad. It costs 5. I mean, it's a 3/5 flyer, so in like limited, it's playable, but Winds of Abandon. 1 white, 1 colorless sorcery. Exile target creature you don't control. For each creature exiled this way, its controller searches the library for a basic land card. Those players put those cards onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle their libraries. And then it has Overload 6. 2 white, 4 colorless. It's alright. Don't think it's good enough for modern. Wing Shards. This is a reprint. 2 white, 1 colorless instant. Target player sacrifices an attacking creature, and it's got Storm, so you can effectively board wipe your opponent at instant speed if enough spells were cast. So if your opponent like casts like a spell or two before they attack, and then you cast this, you can just make them sack like 2 or 3 creatures. Now, is this good enough for modern? I don't know. This is an interesting card. I don't know if it's good enough for modern. It does only cost 3 mana, which is pretty good for being able to kill like 2 to 3 creatures. One at the fewest, and it's a sacrifice effect, so it hits like, you know, it can hit hexproofers. It can hit things that you wouldn't normally be able to hit. So I'm gonna say maybe on this one. I'm gonna say that you can maybe play that in modern. All right, last white card, Zalfrin Decoy. 1 white, 1 colorless. Tap it, tap target creature. Activate this ability only if you had a creature into the battlefield in your controller's turn. 1/3. This seems like a good limited card. That's about it. Maybe he's riding a Zebra Corn. Zebra Corn. All right, we're on to blue. Blue's got a lot of potential, I think. I think blue probably has the most playable modern cards. Like this card, Archmage's Charm. 3 blue mana. Instant speed. Choose one. Counter target spell. Target player draws 2 cards, or gain control of target non-land permanent with converted cost 1 or less. I think this card's great. I think it's very versatile. It's like a less powerful Cryptic Command, but it also costs 1 less mana than Cryptic Command. So I think this card's going to get played. I think maybe 1 or 2 of these. This is going to get played in like a Jeskai or a blue-white deck. We'll see. We'll see how it does. But I think this card's great. Just a straight up hard counterspell. Draw 2 cards, or it can draw 2 cards, or you can steal something from the opponent. Seems good. Yeah, the price is already at like $11. Onerophage. It's a 1/2 flying squid illusion for 1 blue, 3 colorless. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Onerophage. Okay. This is seems good for limited, but that's it. Being 4 and all. Bizarre Trade Mage. 1 blue, 2 colorless, 3/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards. Discard 3 cards. So it's like a Bazaar of Baghdad effect. And it costs blue, so could you play this in like Dredge? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know about that card. Probably not good enough. You never want to discard like more than you're drawing. That's just like huge. You're 2 for 1-ing yourself. Blizzard Strix. 4 colorless, 1 blue, 3/2 flying flash. When it enters a battlefield, if you control it and there's snow permanent, exile target permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the end step. It costs 5, so it's alright. It's like Flicker Wisp, but not as good. Well, I guess Flicker Wisp was enough flash built in, but it's like Restoration Angel, but it costs 1 more and it's only a 3/2. Chiller Pillar. 3 colors, 1 blue, 3/3, Monstrosity 2. So you have to pay 2 snow-colored mana. And 4 colorless to make it 5/5 and flying. Huh? If you have enough snow lands in like a limited deck, I could see that being played, but Choking Tethers. 1 blue, 3 colors. Tap up to 4 target creatures. Cycling 2. When you cycle Choking Tethers, you may tap target creature. Not great. You can maybe play it in limited, like a 1 of. Cunning Evasion. 1 blue, 1 colorless. Enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. That's kind of bizarre. I don't really see how that's good. Or like how that would be good. I don't really see the point of that card at all. This is cool. Echo of Eons. Look at that picture. That's bonkos. Some bonkers. 2 blue, 4 colorless sorcery. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library, then draws 7 cards. Flashback for 2 colorless, 1 blue. So this is a Time Twister. Only it costs 6, and it doesn't let you untap lands like the other previous Time Twister card I'm forgetting. And you can flash it back for 3. Typically cards like these are not good. And they don't get played because they basically refill your opponent's hand and then they get to like act first because you tap out to use this card. So I'm going to say this card's not good. Everdream. 1 blue, 1 colorless. Draw a card. Splice onto instant or sorcery for 3. This is kind of interesting. So with like 4 mana, you can splice it onto like a Serum Visions or something. This card might get played. I don't know. It might be too dirtily. It's kind of like Think Twice. Think Twice is the 2 same cost, draw a card, and then it's got flashback for 3. And that card only gets played like Fringe, so it's kind of dirtily. It might see play. Exclude. 1 blue, 2 colors, counter target creature spell, draw a card. This is a reprint, isn't it? Or is this a brand new card? This card feels like it's a reprint, but I don't know. Oh no, it was an invasion. Which is really freaking old. So yeah, this is like a legacy reprint. Creature only is kind of limited. Like I don't think it's going to be modern playable. I mean, that is good. You get to draw a card too. That's pretty sweet, but yeah, it's just useless against non-creature decks, so probably not going to get played. Kite. 1 blue, 1 colorless, 1/2 flying. It gets +2/+0 as long as you draw on 2 or more cards this turn. Seems kind of bad. Ooh, Factor Fiction. This card's great. I think this card's going to see play. 1 blue, 3 colorless, instant speed. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, and you get to choose one of the piles and put it in your hand. The other cards go in your graveyard. This card's great. I think this card's going to see play in Modern. Some number. Like 1 or 2, maybe. Because you can get 3 cards out of this. Like, you can straight up just 1 for 3 right here. Like, Factor Fiction can be super strong. I mean, that card was a house in, like, Extended and Standard. Fairy Seer. 1 blue, 1/1 flying. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Not great. Force of Negation. Okay, here's probably the best. Well, this or the green one are the best forces, probably. 2 blue, 1 colorless, instant speed. If it's not your turn, you may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. Counter target non-creature spell. If that spell is countered, exile it instead of putting it into its graveyard. And the quote is, try if you must. This card's great. Yeah, the price is already $25 on these. So you can either pay the cost and just counter something normally, non-creature spell, and it also exiles it, which is something to think about too. That's also good. But if it's your opponent's turn, you can exile. If there's something you really don't want them to put out, you can exile. You can 2-for-1 yourself to make it so it's countered. So this is a very strong card. They made it so you can only do that effect on your opponent's turn, so you can't protect your own combos. They don't want people being able to protect broken combos on their turn for free, because they don't want decks to just be able to win through everything. That's essentially why they didn't reprint Force of Will. I thought they might reprint Force of Will, but this is kind of like what they chose to do instead. Just make a new card. And it's more limited than Force of Will. Force of Will you can play on your turn too, and you can counter anything with it. It's a catch-all. But I think this card's just good enough to be main deckable in almost any, control deck. So I think the card's great. It's a great card design. Future Sight. Also the name of a Magic set. Wow, you got like an embryo floating in the air. And you got like these skulls in the background. Wow, dude. Like the picture. 3 blue, 2 colorless. Enchantment. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play the top card of your library. Okay. So it's basically Experimental Frenzy, but without the downside. Seems pretty good. Well, it also makes you reveal the top card to your opponent, but you can also play the cards in your hand. This card seems really powerful. I don't know if it'll be played. It costs 5 and 3-core blue, but maybe part of some combo deck that I cannot conceive of right now. But the card's definitely powerful. Iceberg Can Crix. 1 blue, 1 color, 0/4. Whenever another smoke permanent enters battlefield and you're controlling, you may have target player put the top 2 cards of the library into their graveyard. So there's like a, what is this? There's the landfall. It's like a blue skate or something like that, and it's got landfall. They mill 3 cards. So this is kind of like the same design. Now you can play both of them. And play Snowland, so maybe that mill deck is going to come back now that you got that guy. That definitely makes it stronger, because that's one of the strongest cards in the deck. Oh, the Mana War. 1 blue, 2 colorless, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature to its owner's hand. This card is like a house in Limited. This card's so good in Limited. Probably not going to see constructed play. It's not good enough. Ooh, Merit Lage's Slumber. 1 blue, 1 colorless, legendary snow enchantment. When Merit Lage's Slumber or another snow permanent enters the battlefield under control, scry 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more snow permanents, sacrifice Merit Lage's Slumber. If you do, create Merit Lage, a legendary 2020 black after dark creature with flying indestructible. Okay, so it's like Dark Depths. But if you have 10 or more snow permanents, this actually could easily be playable in Modern. It has this Scry 1 ability for when you play snow permanents. And you also get to Scry when it first comes into play. So yeah, I could definitely see this card getting played in Modern. And it's like a crazy win condition too. I could see this card being played in Modern as like the only win condition in like a control deck. I could definitely see that. That might actually be a thing. Mirrodin Besiege. Wow. They have a bunch of cards that are like names of like sets of Magic. 1 blue, 2 colorless. Enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose Mirrodin or Phyrexian. Mirrodin, whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token. Phyrexian, at the beginning of your instep, draw a card, then discard a card. Then if there are 15 or more artifact cards in the graveyard, target opponent loses the game. 15 or more artifact cards. That's kind of crazy. This is a crazy powerful enchantment, and it only costs 3. This brings me back to what, Dragons of Tarkir, where they had these double enchantments where you could like choose cons or dragons. Okay. This might be playable. It very well could be. It's got the weird like... This is super artifact too, so like, yeah, when you cast an artifact, you get a 1/1. So this is like an infinite combo with like Thopter Foundry or something like that. Or it's just good. You can just, you know. I don't know if it would be good in like something like Affinity, because you pretty much throw out your hand like turn 1 with Affinity, and that thing costs 3. Yeah, probably not playable, but we'll see. Miss Syndicate Nautica, 1 blue, 2 colorless, 3/1, Ninjutsu 3. When Naga deals armor damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Miss Syndicate Naga. That's pretty funny. Really good. This is a limited bomb for sure. And Ninjutsu lets you swap it on the battlefield for an unblocked attacker, basically. Ninjutsu. This is an ability from Kamigawa. A fairly old Magic set. Probably not good enough for Modern, but I don't know if any of these Ninjutsu cards are good enough for Modern, but Moonblade Shinobi, 1 blue, 3 colorless, 3/2, Ninjutsu 3. Whenever Moonblade Shinobi deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 blue illusion token creature with flying. Yeah, again. Just alright. Phantasmal Form, 1 blue, 2 colorless, instant until end of turn. Up to 2 target creatures each have base power and toughness 3/3, gain flying, and become blue illusions in addition to their other colors and types. Draw a card. You need creatures to play this, so I don't know how good this card is. You do get to draw a card off of it, but yeah. I think it's going to be good and limited, but that's it. Phantom Ninja. 2/2 for 2 blue and 1 colorless. Phantom Ninja cannot be blocked. Okay. Great card in limited. Not going to see any other play. Pondering Maid. 2 blue, 3 colorless, 3/4. When you enter this battlefield, look at the top 3 cards and put them back in any order. You may shuffle your library, draw a card. So it's basically a ponder built into a 3/4 for 5. I think it's good for limited. That's it. Prohibit. 1 blue, 1 colorless, kicker 2. Counter target spell if its current amount costs 2 or less. If it was kicked, 4 or less. I remember, I think this card was played and extended, but that was back before, like, you know, Logic Knot and a bunch of other spells. Counter Magic had come out. I think just Logic Knot is still just better than this card. I don't know. If you're on the play, this card's decent. If you're on the draw, this card's not nearly as good. Reign of Revelation. 1 blue, 3 colorless, instant, draw 3 cards, discard a card. This is a new card. I think Fact or Fiction is just better than that. Rebuild. 1 blue, 2 colorless. Instant, return all artifacts to the owner's hands. Cycling 2. This is a Hurkyl's Recall that costs 1 more and has cycling. I don't think this card's good. I think Hurkyl's Recall as a sideboard card is just better. I mean, having cycling on it, I mean, it's already going to be a sideboard card, so there's no reason to have cycling on it. I don't know. You pretty much want to draw your sideboard cards when you sideboard them in. You're not going to cycle them. Scour all possibilities. 1 blue, 1 colorless, sorcery speed, scry 2, then draw a card. Flashback for 1 blue, 4 colorless. This doesn't seem terrible. Yeah, this is a new card. Again, this might be too dirtily for Modern. Especially now, Modern's a really fast format right now, so... it's like think twice. Probably not going to see play right now. Maybe when the format slows down a little bit. Scuttling Sliver. 1 blue, 2 colorless, 2/2. Sliver creatures you control have 2 mana to untap this creature. I'm going to say that's not good enough for a Sliver deck. But I'm not an expert on slivers, but it seems not good enough to me. Smoke Shroud. 1 blue, 1 colorless, enchant creature. Gets +1/+1 as it's flying. When a ninja enters the battlefield, you may return Smoke Shroud from a graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. Again, creature enchantments. Not very good. Spell Snuff. 2 blue, 1 colorless. Counter target spell. Fateful Hour. If you have 5 or less life, draw a card. Good night. Yes, he's like putting out the flame. That's kind of badass. That's a badass picture. I like that shit. That's totally cool. Not a very good card though. 3-cost counterspell. I mean, I don't know where Fateful Hour came. What set did that come from? I don't remember that ability, that effect. Yeah, drawing a card if you're at 5 life, that's, I don't know, that seems not very good. Stream of Thought. Dude, Seb McKinnon. Dude, I love Seb. 1 blue, sorcery. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. You shuffle up to 4 cards from your graveyard into your library and replicate. This is a replicating mill card. Okay, they're putting out a lot of mill cards. Mill actually might be a valid plan. That seems really strong. For 5 mana, you can have a mill 8. That seems pretty good. String of Disappearances. 1 blue, instant, return target creature to its owner's hand, then that creature controller may pay 2 blue. If that player does, they may copy the spell and may choose a new target for the copy. Dude, that's another Seb McKinnon picture. That's badass. Dude, Seb. Seb, you're a pimp. This card seems bad, though. Seems not good. What do we got next? Tribute Mage. 1 blue, 2 colorless, 2/2. When it enters battlefield, you search your library for an artifact card. Quarter mana cost 2. Reveal that card, put it to your hand, then shuffle your library. Okay. So we have Trinket Mage, which same cost, same power toughness. That gets a 1 cost from your library. We have Treasure Mage, same cost, 2/2. It gets a 6 cost artifact. Or 6 or more, I think. Or maybe it's just 6. And now we got one that gets a 2 cost artifact. I don't know. If that card is, I mean, it gives you a 2/2 body and lets you search out an artifact. It would have to be in some kind of toolbox deck. I can't say if it's anything at this point. Twisted Reflection. 1 blue, 1 colorless. Choose 1. Target creature gets -6, -0 until end of turn. Switch target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Entwine. Choose both. This is like a limited card. You can get a 2-for-1 out of this, so I think it's good and limited. Oh, Urza. Here's Urza, peeps. With his army of automatons behind him. Okay, they finally made Urza. Lord High Artificer. 2 blue, 2 colorless, 1/4. When he enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Tap an untapped artifact you control, add 1 blue mana. 5 mana to shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. This card's got a lot of potential. I mean, like with Thopter Foundry, you can make infinite mana, gain infinite life, make infinite 1/1s, and have an infinitely big construct in play. So you got like 4 infinites in one with Urza. Now, is it really worth it to play him because you can do that infinite combo without him already? Well, it's not infinite, but it's like a recursion combo that's got like a... Dude, he's worth $55. Damn, people are super hot for this guy. He might be in you know, one of those prison decks to go infinite. We'll just have to see if that's better than just having the inevitability of, you know, Thopter Foundry combo. Watcher for tomorrow. 1 blue, 1 colorless, 2/1, Hideaway. It enters tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile one face down, and put the rest in the bottom of your library. When Watchtower for tomorrow leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into its owner's hand. Hideaway is that cool card, that cool effect on Shelldock Isle that lets you play that card. I mean, that's a good card for limited. It probably won't see constructed play. Even though it is technically a 2-for-1 for 2. But, I mean, the decks that would be going into, I don't know if you really want like just a 2-for-1 vanilla creature. I don't know. Windcaller Aven. 2 blue, 4 colorless, flying for 3. You can cycle it for 1 blue. When you cycle it, target creature gains flying until end of turn. I think this is good for limited. It's a cool picture, too. The final blue card, Winter's Rest. 1 blue, 1 colorless, enchant creature. When Winter's Rest enters the battlefield, tap target creature. As long as you control another snow permanent, enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. I mean, this is a great limited removal. I mean, unless you're playing like a mono blue deck, I don't think this card's really that good in constructed. Alright, we to black. Azra Smoke Shaper. 1 black, 3 colorless. Ninjutsu. 1 black, 1 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. 3/3. That seems kind of bad. It's usually always the blue ninjas that are like the good ones. Cabal Therapist. This is one of the first cards spoiled. 1 black menace, 1/1. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, choose an online card name, then target player reveals their hand and discards all cards with that name. So it's basically Cabal Therapy in a creature, but you have to sacrifice. You can't just cast it. You can't pay for it for the first effect, like Cabal Therapy. You gotta sack a creature. I don't think it's good enough. Carrion Feeder, 1 black, 1/1, can't block. Sacrifice creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Carrion Feeder. Is that a new card? Oh no, he's old. Scourge. Boom. Yeah. He's not great. He can't block. He's not even very good in limited. That's not a very good card. Changeling Outcast. 1 for a 1/1 Changeling. Can't block and can't be blocked. Okay. That's interesting. He's a 1/1 Shadow, basically. That's what Shadow was back in the day. That might be playable. Some kind of Changeling deck. Who knows? Yeah, we should be doing... Oops. Yeah, Mythic Spoilers. This place is the has the highest quality. Alright, we'll look at Yawgmoth. Thran Physician. Alright, he's 2 black, 2 colorless. 2/4, human cleric, protection from humans. Pay 1 life, sacrificing the creature, put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature and draw a card. 2 black, discard a card, proliferate. That's kind of weird. Protection from humans, okay. This card, I don't know, doesn't seem very good. You'd think Yawgmoth would be more badass than this. This doesn't seem very good at all. $25. Yeah, I don't see why this guy's good. I don't think he's gonna see any play. Cordial Vampire. Whenever Cordial Vampire or another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. Please come in. Hors d'oeuvres are on the table. Yeah. Vampire deck. Doesn't seem great. Dead of Winter. All non-snow creatures get it's 1 black, 2 colorless. All non-snow creatures get -1/-X until turn, where X is the number of snow permanents you control. That seems pretty good, actually. That's like a board wipe. And if you have 3 snow lands out, it's a turn 3 board wipe essentially. I mean, it's -3/-3. It's like a, but it can get bigger as the turns progress. I like this card. I think this card might see some play in Modern with snow decks. Endling. 2 black, 2 colorless. Zombie shapeshifter. 3/3. 1 black Endling gains menace until end of turn. 1 black Endling gains death touch. 1 black Endling gains undying. Nice. And 1 colorless, it gets +1/-1 or -1/+1. It seems kind of good. I kind of like it. This card might be playable. I mean, it does cost 4. If this thing costed 3, it would be super good. It might be too expensive for Modern. Force of Despair. Yes, said McKinnon. Dude, this picture's fucking awesome. I love this picture. 2 black, 1 colorless. If it's not your turn, you may exile a black card rather than play the mana cost. Destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. This card seems like a sideboard card. I can see this definitely as like a one-of sideboard card in Modern. Dude, think of Force of Despair against Affinity. Like, turn 1, they're like, oh, I throw out like 5 creatures. You're like, all those creatures die. Boom. I just like 3-for-1 you. Even though I had an exile a card out of my hand, I just like 3-for-1 you. Like, think of that against like a deck like that. Pretty insane. Nether Spirit. 2 black, 1 colorless, 2/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Nether Spirit is the only creature card in your graveyard, you return Nether Spirit to the battlefield. A little recursion creature. costs 3. It's probably not good enough. Plague Engineer. 1 black, 2 colorless, Death Touch, 2/2. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type, your opponent's control get -1/-1. This is like Engineer Plague, but in a creature. This card might get played. Since Engineer Plague's not playable in Modern, Plague Engineer very well might be. Against, like, elves or, you know, spirits or something, you know, humans. Might be good. It might be good. Cyborg card, of course. Carrion Feeder, we already saw you. Are these not in freaking alphabetical order? They're not. Why are these not in alphabetical order? Can't put them. Why are they not in alphabetical order? I don't get it. They put them in order of like when they came out. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to alphabetical. Alright, we already saw Carrion Feeder. We already saw that. We already saw. Okay, Crypt Rats. Crypt Rats deals 1 black, 2 colorless, 1/1, X. Crypt Rats deals X damage to each creature and each player. Spend only black mana on X. So he's like a Pestilence. He's a Pestilence in a creature. Yeah, not good enough, but, you know. It's a funny card. You could definitely play that in Limited, and it'd probably be really good. Defile. 1 black, instant. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp you control. Wow, this card's really good. I take that back. Maybe not really good. It seems playable in Modern. I'm trying to think what decks would play it. I mean, Mono Black would play it. Would 8-Rack play this? Probably not. I mean, they do play Yawgmoth. Or, what's that land called? The land that makes all lands swamps in addition to their own. I think you'd have to be playing that card in order for Defile to be good. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, yeah, Urborg. Don't know if it'll see play in Modern, but I like the card. Seems good. It's instant speed also. Diabolic Edict. This is a reprint of a very old card, but unfortunately, Liliana's Triumph was just printed in like the newest normal set, and it's just like better than Diabolic Edict because it doesn't target. Its target player sacrifices a creature instant speed, but Liliana's Triumph. Will it show us a bigger one? Yeah, Liliana's Triumph is each opponent sacrifices a creature, and if you control Liliana Planeswalker, each opponent also discards a card. So this card is just like better. Ooh, they have like a full art picture of it. Ooh, F&M promo? Or no, it's an open house promo. That's a sweet full art. I want that. It's full art foil. That's real good. Yeah. I think, if anything, it's just going to be the Liliana version of the card. The newer, better one. Or older, I guess, because it's a set before it. But yeah, it's pretty funny that they must have had different teams working on it. They didn't know what the other team was doing. Dregscape Sliver. 1 black, 1 colorless, 2/2. Each Sliver creature card in your graveyard has Unearthed 2. And that's 2 colorless to return the creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, and then exile it. I don't think that's good enough for Slivers. I think there's better ones, but I could be wrong. Feaster of Fools. 2 black, 4 colors, 3/3, Convoke. Flying, Devour 2. As it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with twice that many +1/+1 counters on it. This seems bad. Yeah. For like limited, these D's. First Sphere Gargantua. That's a sweet picture. 2 black, 4 colorless, 5/4. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Unearth 3. This seems real good for limited. Pretty crappy for constructed. You saw Force of Despair. Gluttonous Slug. 1 black, 1 colorless, 0/3 menace. Evolve. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. I like it in limited. That's a cool limited card, but that's about it. Grave Shifter. It's like Grave Digger, but it's a changeling. 2/2, 1 black, 3 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from the graveyard to your hand. So it's basically just a Grave Digger, but it's a shapeshifter instead of a zombie. Okay then. It's a great limited card. That's it. Headless Spectre. 2 black, 1 colorless, 2/2 flying, Hellbent. When Headless Spectre deals damage, combat damage to a player, if you have no cards in hand, that player discards a card at random. So he's a Hypnotic Spectre, but you have to have Hellbent for him to make you discard. Good and limited. Definitely good and limited. Just 3 for a 2/2 flyer is good and limited, but that's about it. Mind Rake. 1 black, 2 colorless. Target player discards 2 cards. Overload. So you can overload it for 2 and make yourself discard 2 also. That's actually kind of cool. I mean, but at the same time, like, you're going to have... I mean, you want to be able to play this when you have 0 cards in hand, or this is the last card you're playing. Maybe that's actually worth it. Paying 2 to make your opponent discard 2 cards on, like, turn 2. And you can play this in, like, Dredge. Dude, this in Dredge might be really strong, actually. Taking 2 cards away from your opponent on turn 2, that seems really fucking strong. Like, this might straight up just go into Dredge as, like, a 4 of. Okay, I'm really scared about Dredge now. Like, that's insane. Like, think about that. They play a land and play, like, something, like a Shriekhorn or something, and then you're like, okay, play a land, do nothing. Pass turn, they're like, play that, and they're like, put 2 Dredgers in the graveyard, and you discard, like, 2 good cards. Like, that seems really powerful. Okay, Mob. 1 black, 4 colorless, instant, convoke, destroy target creature. This seems good for limited. Probably not playable in modern. Ninja of the New Moon. 2 black, 3 colorless. Ninjutsu. 1 black, 3 colorless, 6/3. So he's just straight up like, I'm a claw hand motherfucker that's gonna take you out. Okay. Still not modern playable, but okay. Putrid Goblin. Zombie Goblin. 2/2, 1 black, 1 colorless, persist. Maybe in a zombie deck. I could just, outside of limited, I don't know. I don't know. Rank Officer. 3/1 for 1 black, 3 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, create a 2/2 zombie token. 1 black, 1 colorless, exile and tap. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. I don't know. This doesn't seem very good. Maybe for limited, you can like discard a land and get a 2/2 creature out of it. Seems pretty expensive for a 3/1 though. Ransack the Lab. 1 black, 1 colorless. Sorcery, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. Um, that would be like another dredge type card. I don't know if that's good enough, but maybe. I think that other card is just crazy for dredge, though. Return from Extinction. 1 black, 1 colorless. Sorcery. Choose 1. Return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Or return 2 target creature cards that share a creature type from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, boom. Slivers. Bring 2 slivers back? Maybe. Maybe. Or 2 changelings. Maybe. I don't know. Seems just okay. Sadistic Obsession. 1 black, 3 colorless. Enchantment Aura. Enchanted creature gets tap a black and tap. Put a -1/-1 on target creature. That seems good and limited. As long as you don't get 2 for 1. If that creature stays alive, you can just pick off all their creatures 1 by 1. That seems good. Shatter Assumptions. 2 black, 1 colorless. Choose 1. Sorcery speed. Target opponent reveals their hand and discards all colorless non-land cards. Whoa. For real? Or target opponent reveals their hand and discards all multicolored cards. Rigid Minds are the first to break. Dang. Is this card good? Is this card good? You could get like a 3 for 1 against Tron with this. Like if you're on the play against Tron, this card could be real strong. Just get all their threats out. I mean, almost pretty much all their like threats are colorless. Just make them discard all their threats. I like this card. I think this is a good sideboard card against like Tron and and actually against Hardened Scales Affinity. What else? Eldrazi. Any of the Eldrazi decks. Damn. But mostly Tron, because Tron's the most played right now. Yeah, this is definitely could be a cyber card in Modern. For sure. Silumgar Scavenger. 1 black, 4 colors, 2/3 flying, exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. Whenever another creature controlled dies, put a +1/+1 counter on the Scavenger. Gains haste until end of turn. You could probably play that in limited. Doesn't seem great. Sling Gang Lieutenant. 1 black, 3 colors, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Sacrifice a goblin. Target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Seems pretty bad. Seems pretty bad all around. Smiting Helix. 1 black, 3 colorless. Sorcery. Deals 3 damage to any target. You gain 3 life. Flashback for a red and a white. So this is like a Mardu card. Yeah, the initial cost is too much. If it were like 1 black, 1 colorless, damn. This would be sick. It would be a flashback, Lightning Helix. But yeah, 4 mana, sorcery speed. Yeah, something's got to change here. This needs to be like instant and like 3 mana. Or even just instant and 4 mana might be playable. But there are like no Mardu decks. Mardu is like, those colors are like not in Modern really. Mardu Pyromancer, that's like the only deck. And Mardu Pyromancer is basically only plays white for Lingering Souls. But, I mean, you could definitely play that card in that deck. Maybe that card would fit in that deck. Maybe someone was thinking Mardu Pyromancer when they made that card. You could maybe play one of them. I could see like maybe one of them in that deck. Because it does play a lot of... actually, that deck plays Faithless Looting. So yeah, like you get that card in your graveyard and just flash it back. Okay. Okay. Maybe. Throat Seeker. 1 black, 2 colorless, 3/2. Unblocked attacking ninjas you control off lifelink. Okay. Not great. Not great. Umezawa's Charm. 1 black, 1 colorless instant. Target creature gets +2/+2, or target creature gets -1/-1, or you gain 2 life. So it's basically all the effects of Umezawa's Jite in an instant. Seems pretty bad. You definitely play it in limited. That's it. Undead Augur. 2 black, 2/2. When it enters, when Augur or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Yeah, it's definitely like a if you want to make a zombie deck, but not great. Unearth. 1 black. Sorcery. Return target creature card with converted mana costs 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Cycling 2. Is this card old? I guess it's not. This card might have potential. I don't know. You can pay 1 and get a 3-drop back. But I mean, the problem is getting the 3-drop in your graveyard in the first place. And then how powerful a 3-drop are you going to be able to get back? I mean, the card that comes to mind is like Geist of Saint Traft or something like that, but I don't know. Might just be too cute. Venomous Changeling. 1 black, 2 colorless, 1/3, Changeling, Death Touch. It doesn't contain venom, it is venom. Okay. Venom. Another Shapeshifter card. Yet to be seen if a Shapeshifter deck's going to be a thing. Ward-Eye Witch. 1 black, 2 colorless, 3/2. When Witch or another creature you control dies, scry 1. It's decent and limited. Alright, we're on to red. This is the Alpine Guide. 1 red, 2 colorless, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a mountain card. Put the card in the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. Alpine Guide attacks each combat if they're able. When Alpine Guide leaves the battlefield, sacrifice a mountain. This doesn't seem that bad, actually. Oh no, you have to sacrifice a mountain when it does. Actually, this might be decent in like a Ponza type deck. This actually might be good in a Ponza deck. I don't know, we'll see. There's a huge upside on this card. If it doesn't get killed right away, like, you ramp, basically, and you have a 3/3. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I think maybe that might be good enough for Modern. Aria of Flame. 1 red, 2 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent gains 10 life. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a verse counter on Aria of Flame. When it deals damage equal to the number of verse counters on it. Then it deals damage equal to the number of verse counters on a target creature, target player, or planeswalker. That seems kind of strong in like a burn deck. It's reminiscent of Shrine of Burning Rage, but you don't have to sacrifice it. It kind of just keeps going and keeps doing damage incrementally. But it also does gain them 10 life, and it costs 3. And I think Shrine of Burning Rage costs 2, and then it costs 3 to activate. Yeah, I don't know. This card might be playable, actually, in like Modern Burn, like sideboard. So, we'll see. And if you play this, I mean, you would have to have 5 mana to play this in Skullcrack. But if you could prevent them from gaining life, this card seems really good. So maybe there's like a way to like prevent them from gaining life to make that card worthwhile. Bladeback Sliver. 1 red, 1 colorless, 2/2. Hellbent. As long as you have no cards in hand, slivers you control have tapped this creature, deal 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That actually might be something. turn all your slivers into Tims. I don't know. I think you're just supposed to attack with slivers, though. So, it's probably not good. Bogarden Dragonheart. 1 red, 2 colorless. 2/2. Sacrificing another creature until end of turn, it becomes a dragon. 4/4 flying haste. You can see it in like limited. Cleaving Sliver. 1 red, 3 colorless. Sliver creature you control get +2/+0. 2/2. It costs 4. If you're gonna play a 4-cost Sliver, like, it needs to be super powerful. I don't think that's powerful enough. Firebolt. 1 red, deal 2 damage to any target, flashback for 5. You could maybe play one of these and burn. Or maybe the sideboard. I mean, it's 1 less than Bump on the Night. Bump on the Night costs 6 to flash black, doesn't it? I think. Yeah, it costs 6 to flashback. So this is only 5 to flashback, but it does 2 and 2 instead of 3 and 3. I don't know, maybe. It's definitely much easier to flashback. 5 versus 6 mana is pretty significant. Fists of Flame. 1 red, 1 colorless. Instant, draw a card until end of turn. Target creature gains trample and gets +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. Really? This seems pretty good, actually. Again, this is like a dirtily card that's like Manamorphose. But yeah, if you like Manamorphose and play this and like a Faithless Looting, that's +4 power and trample. Maybe that's probably not good enough. I don't know. Might have to do some kind of combo with that to make it good. Force of Rage. Okay, here's the red force. 2 red, 1 colorless. Instant. If it's not your turn, you may exile a red card instead of paying the mana cost. Create 2/3/1 red elemental creature tokens with trample and haste. Sacrifice those tokens at the beginning of your next upkeep. So, if it's your opponent's turns, you can put out these. You can flash these into play, and you get 2/3/1 blockers. But they don't survive to your next turn, so you can't attack with them. Or you can pay 3 and get 2/3/1s. I think this card's good. I think this card's playable in Modern. We'll see how good it's going to be. I mean, 3 damage for 3 mana for 6 damage is pretty strong. This is like a Ball Lightning, but it splits it up into 2 creatures, which is I think is better than Ball Lightning, because then you get 1 removal spell won't take care of it. So I like this card. I think this card's playable. It will probably see play in Modern. Geomancer's Gambit. Dude, this is a sweet picture. He's just like fucking crushing this city with a fatty mountain. 1 red, 2 colorless. Sorcery. Destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield, and shuffle their library. Draw a card. So this is Field of Ruin, but a sorcery, and you get to draw a card. I kind of like it. Maybe a sideboard card. Against like Tron and decks that rely on their lands heavily. I could maybe see that sideboard. Goat Nap. 1 red, 2 colorless sorcerer, gain control of target creature until end of turn, and tap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. If the creature is a goat, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Okay, so again, if you steal a changeling with this, it gets +3/+0 because it counts as a goat, as well as everything. This card's pretty bad. It's, Act of Treason. or the million other cards that have been printed that have almost the exact same ability. Not even very good in limited, just not a very good Magic card. Goblin Champion, 1 red, 0/1 haste, exalted. Okay. This is actually kind of good. I kind of like this card in a Goblin deck. This might be played in a Goblin deck. Who knows? Goblin's kind of fringy and modern, but seems alright. Goblin Engineer. 1 red, 1 colorless, 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card. Put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. 1 red and tap, sacrifice an artifact, return target artifact card to permanent mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this is for like prison decks. You could like go get a bridge, an ensnaring bridge, and then like sack some other artifact. I don't know. They made it 3 or less so you couldn't like bring some busted out artifact back. I don't know. This might be in some combo deck or prison deck. We'll see. I don't see how it's that good. Ooh, Goblin Matron got reprinted. Okay, this is an actual reprint. Wait, it's not saying like what it came from. I forgot what set this is from. This is an old set though. When Goblin Matron enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a Goblin card, reveal it, put it in your hand. 1 red, 2 colors, 1/1. Yeah, this is how you go get Goblin Lackey. Like they'll play this and go get Goblin Lackey or go get another for Legacy Goblins. But yeah, there might be a Goblin deck now. Like an actual straight up Goblin deck instead of like 8 whack, which is basically just an aggro deck that plays like, you know, like 8 goblins in it and some Goblin Grenades. But this is actually maybe like a Goblin Synergy deck. Orcish Oil Flam. Oh, and it's the error printing of it too. Yeah, they printed a 2 cost of this, and then they were like, "Wait, that's wrong. It should be 4 cost." So now this is the 2 cost. Attacking creatures you control get +1/+0. This might be good. This actually might be good. You couple this with like the new Domri Planeswalker, all your attacking creatures get +2 attack. That seems pretty good. I'm not going to count this card out. This card might get played in Modern. 2 mana is pretty small. Goblin War Party. 1 red, 3 colorless. Choose 1, create 3 1/1 red goblin tokens or creatures you control get +1/+1 in haste. Entwine. This is pretty expensive. There's already a card that costs 2 red, 1 colorless that makes 3 1/1 goblin tokens. I mean, this has got versatility, but it does cost 4. 4 seems kind of a lot. Don't know if it's good enough. Hollowhead Sliver. 2/2 for 1 red, 2 colorless. Slivers you control have tap to discard a card and draw a card. I don't know if like utility slivers like this are any good for like card drawing and stuff. I don't know. If you're using the graveyard in some way, then yeah, but gut level reaction, I don't think that's good enough. Igneous Elemental, that's pretty sick. 2 red, 4 colorless. 4/3. The spell costs 2 less to cast if there is a land card in your graveyard. When it enters the battlefield, you may have a deal 2 damage to target creature. This card's good for limited. That's about it. Lava Dart. This is a reprint. 1 damage to any target, instant speed, flashback, sacrifice the mountain. This is like a great sideboard card against Infect, but that's about all its use is. Maybe against, like, elves. I don't know. Mostly just infect. Not very good. Magmatic Sinkhole. 1 red, 5 colorless. Delve. Deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. This is very interesting. Oh, it's creature or planeswalker, not player. Okay. This might be a sideboard card. This is a way to kill, like, Lyra Dawnbringer or, like, you know, one of those angels in, like, the matchup with a control. Like, if Burn plays control. This could be, like, a one-of sideboard card for Burn, I could see, for sure. Orcish Hellraiser. 1 red, 1 colorless. Echo, 3/2. When it dies, it deals 2 damage to player or planeswalker. I kind of like this card. 2 for a 3/2 with Echo 1. Or you can just let it die and it deals 2 damage to player or planeswalker. That seems good. I wonder if this is going to see any play in Modern. I don't know. I don't know if it's powerful enough, but... Scale Guardian. 2 red, 5 colorless, 4/4, flying haste. Spell costs 1 less scouts for each land in your graveyard. Now this is something that's got potential right here. Like with sack lands and like... Dude, maybe in Dredge. Dude, maybe in Dredge. Although they never draw cards in Dredge, so like, yeah. This is like definitely like would shine in like a Dredge style deck, but if you actually could draw cards for 2 mana, because it would be like 2 mana for a 4/4 flying haste. Yeah, as it is, I don't know how good that card is going to be. I don't know. Probably not good. Pashalik Mons. Dude, Mons Goblin Raider. Dude, is he like the leader of all goblins? He's the leader of the Mons tribe, dude. Let's go. 1 red, 2 colors, 2/2. Whatever Pashalik Mons or another goblin control dies, Pashalik Mons deals 1 damage to any target. 4 mana, sacrifice a goblin, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Yes! He just kills 1 to make 2 more. Let's go. Let's go. I don't know. They're pushing for goblins. They're pushing for goblin deck in Modern. This, I mean, it might be possible. Pillage. Okay, this is an old school card from like Ice Age. 2 red, 1 colorless, destroy target artifact or land. It can't be regenerated. Great card for Ponza. This is just going to straight up replace like Stone Rain. Being able to kill an artifact or a land, and it can't be regenerated. Pretty good. Pretty good. Planebound Accomplice. 1 red, 2 colorless. 1/3. You may put a planeswalker card from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step for 1 red. It's like a sneak attack for planeswalkers. It's a sneak attack for planeswalkers. Wow. Told you I had friends. So you can just like throw out like Ugin for 1 turn. Is that really like worth it though? That would let you what, like board wipe? You could like Ugin and board wipe. I mean, like, what's more powerful than a board wipe? Like, what can you do with a planeswalker that's more powerful than a board wipe? That's all I can think of. Yeah, it seems not very good. Pyrophobia. One red, 1 colorless. It deals 3 damage to target creature. Cowards can't block this turn. Just that weird, like, involving shapeshifters again, because they are considered cowards. Bizarre. Bizarre. They got some funny things, funny interactions in this set. Yeah, this is a limited card, for sure. Quakefoot Cyclops. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Cycling for 1 red and 1 colorless. When you cycle it, target creature can't block this turn. It seems good for limited. Again, probably not anywhere else. Ravenous Giant. Okay, this card is like a stat for stat remake of Jazam Jin, which is like one of my favorite Magic cards of all time. I used to have a deck with 4 of them in it. So it's 2 red, 2 colorless, 5/5. And at the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to you. Just a vanilla 5/5 for 4. Like, back in the day, like, when Arabian Nights was out, like, when only, like, 5, 6 sets of Magic were out, a 5/5 creature for 4 mana was, like, the fucking top end, dude. That was, like, the nuts. Like, that was, like, the best creature that existed, like, in those times. So, this is why Jazam Jin was so great back then. You could, like, Dark Ritual and get it out, like, turn 2. You could have a turn 2 5/5. Or you could Soul Ring on turn 2 and have a on turn 1, and then on turn 2 you could have 4 mana for it. Just smash for 5. Like, is it good enough now? No. Like, I don't even know how good this is in Limited. Like, Limited, like, you don't want something doing damage to you every turn, but it is a 5/5, so, like, they're not going to have anything that can, like, block it, you know, for, like, several turns, usually. For at least a turn. There's a lot of 5 power things that cost 5 mana now, so, like, you know, if you're on the play, I think you can play this card in Limited for sure, but outside of that, it's just kind of a throwback to an old card that used to be really good. Reckless Charge, 1 red, sorcery, target creature gets +3/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Flashback for 1 and 2. This card seems pretty good. I kind of like this card. And I don't know if this card is a reprint. It might be a reprint. I'm not familiar with this card. This card seems playable in like a what's it called? What am I trying to think of? Kiln Fiend deck. You could play this in a Kiln Fiend deck for sure. That would be super good in a Kiln Fiend deck. So yeah, this might see some modern play, specifically in a deck like that. Seasoned Pyromancer. This guy's pretty cool. I like this guy. 2 red, 1 colorless for a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, discard 2 cards and then draw 2 cards. For each non-land card discarded this way, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. This is another deck that would be perfect in Mardu Pyromancer. They're giving a lot of fuel to Mardu Pyromancer, which I almost built. Like, the only thing I don't have for that deck are the Blackcleave Cliffs, because they're like fucking $40 each or some shit. But maybe I should pick up some Blackcleave Cliffs in lieu of like these cards that are. There's a couple cards coming out in this set that would be seem like they'd be pretty good for Mardu Pyromancer. So maybe. And then 2 red and 3 colors, you can exile it from your graveyard to create 2 1/1 red elemental. So yeah, it's even got play from your graveyard, which is pretty much like what you want out of the Mardu Pyromancer deck. You got Lingering Souls, you got, you know, Faithless Looting. You've got, you know, all these cards. You know, you got Bedlam Reveler, which fuels off cards in your graveyard. You got just like a lot of graveyard synergy stuff, and this just adds to it. So I think this card's perfect for Mardu Pyromancer. Shenanigans, really? They really made a card named Shenanigans? Okay. 1 red, 1 color, sorcery, destroy target artifact, dredge 1. What? They made a dredge card? They made a dredge card. Are you shitting me? But of course they only made a dredge 1, which is like horrible. But it is a destroy artifact dredge 1, so like if you want to destroy an artifact every turn, boom, now you can. Pricey baubles are no match for cheap tricks. Okay, this is crazy. I mean, I think Ancient Grudge is still just better in Dredge, but I don't know. Maybe they put one of these in their sideboard. Who knows? It could be good enough. Spinehorn Minotaur. 1 red, 2 colors, 2/3. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, it has double strike. If you think twice, I'll cut twice. Okay. Pretty bad. Pretty bad all around. Except the turn where you faithlessly, or yeah, the turns you faithless looting, he becomes a 2/3 double striker. Yeah. All right, spiteful sliver. 1 red, 2 colors, 2/2. Slivers you control have whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player or planeswalker. Again, I think you're just trying to beef up your slivers and get them out quickly and just swing for the victory. I don't think this card is good for doing that, since most removal is hard removal in Modern. Tectonic Reformation. 1 red, 1 colorless enchantment. Each land card in your hand has cycling 1 red. Cycling 2. This seems really strong for the Legacy Lands deck. I don't see, or like some kind of, I mean, this fuels the what is it? The Land's Edge deck? No, the what's the card I'm trying to think of? It costs like 3 red. Seismic Assault. Seismic Assault. Yeah, someone was talking about Seismic Assault last night at FNM maybe becoming a thing now. I guess it could. That card definitely will help you find Seismic Assault. Throes of Chaos. 1 red, 3 colorless. Sorcery Cascade. Retrace. Okay. This seems kind of silly. It's just like I get to Cascade and I can retrace it. Okay. I have no idea if this card is going to be good. I'm going to say it's not good, but excuse me. Alright, Urza's Rage. 1 red, 2 colorless. Kicker of 9. This spell can't be countered. It deals 3 damage to any target. If the spell was kicked, it deals 10 damage to that permanent player, and the damage can't be prevented. Wow. So all you gotta do is spend 12 mana to do 10 damage that can't be prevented. So then it comes down to if 3 mana for 3 damage is worth it. For being uncounterable. And I'm going to say no. You can play this unlimited, definitely, but I think Exquisite Firecraft is just better because it does 4 and it costs the same amount. Vengeful Devil. 1 red, 1 colorless, 1/1 haste, morbid, tap. Deals 1 damage to any target. Attack with this ability only if a creature dies this turn. Yeah, that's bad. That card's bad. Viashino Sand Sprinter. 2 red, 1 colorless, 4/1 trample haste. At the beginning of the end step, return Viashino Sand Sprinter to its owner's hand. Cycling 1. Okay, this is like the Viashino, oh no, this is an actual reprint, isn't it? Yeah, this is a reprint card, I think. I'm pretty sure this is a reprint card. This card looks very familiar. This might be playable in Burn. I think the other card is just better than this. The Force, the red Force card, is probably just better than this card, so probably not going to see play, but... Alright, last red card. Volatile Claws. 1 red, 2 colorless, instant speed. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +2/+0 and gain all creature types. Another shout to the Changeling. Whether modeled after bear, bird, or Baloth, all claws send the same message. Okay. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, it's like an Anthem effect, instant speed. This is like, you know, usually these effects are not good in like constructed, but in a Slivers deck, maybe. I don't know. I think Slivers, you just play Slivers. You don't play like any cards, like cute cards like this. So I'm gonna say this card's bad, just because those effects are just typically not good. All right, we're on to green. Ayula, Queen Among Bears. It's the Queen Bear. She's 2/2 and she costs 2. 1 green, 1 colorless. Whenever another bear enters the battlefield, you can choose one. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target bear. Or target bear you control fights target creature you don't control. Dude, bear deck. Changeling deck. This is another for the Changeling. Dude, if there's a Changeling deck, that'll be fucking sweet. Like, seriously, that'll be fucking sweet. Like, if there's all these weird, like, interactions where, like, you know, if this type of creature enters the battlefield, or if, you know, this type of creature does something, you get this effect, and it's just, your deck's all just like Changelings and like enablers for Changelings. That would be sweet. I'm all for that. Alright, Ayula's Influence. 3 core green. Enchantment. Discard a land card to create 2/2 green bear creature token. Okay. Hey, with Life of the Loam, you can be like, boom, create 3 a turn. And with Queen Mamba Bear in play, it's 4/4 bears that come into play. Or fighting bears. I don't know. Again, it's going to have to be like a Changeling deck or something that does that. Or a land deck. Again, Seismic Assault. Some kind of land deck I'm feeling brewing. Some kind of red-green land deck. Bellowing Elk. 1 green, 3 colors, 4/2. As long as you add another creature into the battlefield on the controller's turn, it gets trampled and indestructible. It's not great. Not great. Collector Ophi. 1 green, 1 colors, 2/2. It's an Ophi. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. Boom. Boom. Stony Silence on a creature, on a green creature. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go. Dude, they give it to green. That's pretty strong. Hell, I could play that in Infect now. I mean, do I want to play that in Infect? Do I really need to? I don't really fear any of the artifact decks, to be honest. But, yeah, green has that's a very powerful tool against artifact decks. Think if that were an elf. That'd be really good. Conifer Worm. 1 green, 4 colors, 4/4 trample. For 1 green, 3 colors, it gets +X/+X, where X is the number of snow permanents. Okay. I think this is good in limited. These snow deck, they're pushing for those snow decks. Pushing for it. Crashing Footfalls. Sorcery. Suspend 4 for 1 green. Create 2 4/4 green rhino creature tokens with trample. This is actually pretty damn good. This seems like it's pretty damn good. If you get this on turn 1... If you get this bad boy on turn 1, that means turn 5 you get 2 4/4 green rhino creatures. That's really strong. Yeah, I think this card might be playable in Modern. We'll see. That's pretty strong. I'm trying to think like what deck you'd put this in. I mean, there's no hard cast on it, so you can only suspend it. But, I mean, the payoff. It's such a payoff if you play this turn 1. Turn 5, you get 2 4/4s. That seems pretty good. I like it. Will it be good enough? I don't know. The format's very fast right now, so it might not be good enough right now. Deep Forest Hermit. Oh yeah, this is like Deranged Hermit. 2 green, 3 colors, 1/1, vanishing 3. When it enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green squirrel tokens. Squirrels get 1+1/+1. So yeah, instead of having Echo like the other one, it has Vanishing. I kind of like this better than Deranged Hermit, actually. It's hit or miss. It's different. It's different. Um, but it does create 5 creature tokens, and Deranged Hermit was not in Modern previously, so this definitely like adds like Convoke and like things like that. It does cost 5 though, so like 5 is like above what you expect in like Modern. So we'll see if this card's playable. I'm gonna say maybe. Elvish Fury, 1 green, buyback 4, target creature gets +++2 until end of turn. Boom. This is a reprint. Is this card worth it? I would never play this in Infect. It's too much mana to buy back. I don't think it's really that good. Excavating Anurid, 1 green, 4 colorless, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, draw a card. As long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard, it gets +1/+1, has vigilance. Ooh, a threshold card. Bringing back lots of these old abilities. This card's just okay. It's like decent limited. Force of Vigor. Oh, here's probably going to be the #1 played Force card. 2 green, 2 colorless, instant. If it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. Destroy up to 2 target artifacts and/or enchantments. Okay, this card's super powerful. Okay, this is like the #1 best green sideboard card like right now. Like I predict this. I predict like 90% of decks that play green to have this card in their sideboard, like at least. Like not only does it let you get around Blood Moon, Chalice of the Void, Ensnaring I mean, well, those two specifically because those limit what you can cast. This costs 4. There's never going to be a Chalice on 4. Like, that never happens. Like, 3 is typically the highest you ever see Chalice on. So it gets around Chalice 100% of the time. You can cast around Blood Moon even if all your lands are mountains. You can still play this card from your hand if you exile a green card. It's just an unlocking card. It unlocks the game again for you. And, on top of that, it lets you destroy 2 things. And it's and/or. So you can destroy an enchantment and an artifact, 2 artifacts, 2 enchantments. Like, it's fucking good. And this card's only worth $4 right now. What? Okay, this card's going to go way up. I'm going to pick up these, like, the second they come out. Maybe I should order them right now. I feel like I should order 4 of these, like, right now. I don't think you would ever play 4 in a sideboard, but I could definitely see 2, maybe 3. Maybe even 3. Like, yeah, it's that good. I think it's that good. Very, very strong card. Frostwalla, 1 green, 2 colorless, 2/2. For a snow mana, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And you can only use it once a turn. You can play that in limited. It's alright. Genesis. Okay, this is a reprint. 1 green, 4 colorless, 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Genesis is in your graveyard, you may pay 3. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, this came out of that set that had 1 for each of these for each color. There was one that, like, the blue one was, like, as long as it's in your graveyard, all your creatures get flying. The white one was, like, vigilance. And this one was, like, the best one. And it was rare. I think the other ones were uncommon. I don't know. This is, like, a recursion thing. Like, maybe this in, like, a, like, I could see this in, like, the green-white Value Town decks that, like, Todd Anderson likes, or not Todd Anderson, I'm forgetting the SCG player, but he loves playing those decks, the Value Town decks. I don't know if it's good enough, though. I don't know. Glacial Revelation. 1 green, 2 colorless. Sorcery, reveal the top 6 cards. You may put any number of snow permanents in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Again, if the snow deck becomes a thing, that card might be decent. Hex Drinker, 1 green. I think this is a brand new card. I don't think this card was ever made before. I don't recognize it. It's a 2/1 when it comes out, and you can level up for one colorless. Once it's level 3 to 7, it gets protection. It becomes a 4/4 and gets protection from instants. And then at a level 8, it has protection from everything. It is a 6/6. This thing's a beast. And again, it's a snake. What if this were in a shapeshifter deck? I don't know. I guess that doesn't mean anything, actually. Is there anything that, like, affects snakes? No. Oh, there is, but I don't know why I said that. Scratch that. Snake is irrelevant. But this is good. This is a good creature. A 2/1 for 1. Like, I could definitely see this in like, the mono green Stompy deck. Seems great. A great addition. You can play this instead of, like, Dryad Militant or, like, some number of, Experiment 1. I mean, you do have to spend mana to, like, level it up, but, like, dude, you put 3 mana into that bad boy, it becomes protection from instant 4/4. It's a pretty unkillable 4/4 in Modern, since everything's instant removal. There's, like, no sorcery removal. And then when it gets protection from everything, that means, like, yeah. You better have Diabolic Edict or Liliana's whatever that new card is to make them sacrifice it, or that thing's just going to beat you to death. Crozen Tusker. 2 green, 5 color, 6/5, cycling 3. When you cycle it, you base search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Yeah, this is a reprint, I believe. There was one of these for each of the colors that let you, when you cycled it, you got to get this basic land card. I think this is great in limited, but not really a constructed card. Llanowar Tribe. 3 green for 3/3. Tap to add 3 green. Okay. Will this be in the elf deck for Modern? Probably not. Probably not. Because it's just not as good as, like, Elven Archdruid or the other 3 drops they play. I don't know. Probably not. Mother Bear. 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/2. 5 mana, exile Mother Bear from your graveyard. Create 2/2 green bear tokens. Activate it when you can cast a sorcery. Yeah. Great card for limited, but yeah. That's about it. Murasa Behemoth. 2 green, 4 colorless, 5/5 trample. Gets +3/+3 as long as there's a land card in your graveyard. Yeah. Decent for limited. Nentuko Cultivator. 1 green, 3 colorless, 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard any number of land cards. Put that many at +1/+1 counters on Nentuko Cultivator and draw that many cards. Maybe if that land deck becomes a thing, I don't know. It's a creature, though. I mean, it costs 4. Seems kind of bad. Nimble Mongoose. This is a throwback. Boom. Legacy card. 1 green, 1/1 Shroud. Threshold becomes a 3/3 if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. This card's beast. I can see this card getting played in Modern for sure. It gets played in Legacy, so I mean, there's almost, you can fill up your graveyard almost as easily in Modern as you can in Legacy. This guy says, God, the old foils are going to spike. Yeah, this card's going to definitely be worth some money. Yeah, it's great. I think it'll be decent. Regrow, throwback to the original set of Magic. 1 green, 1 colorless. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Sorcery speed. Not very powerful anymore. This card used to be played like way back in the day, but yeah, I don't think it's just good enough anymore. Rhyme Tender. 1 green, 1 colorless. 2/2. Tap. Untap another target snow permanent. Yeah. Again, if snow becomes a thing, it might be good. Saddled Rhyme Stag. 1 green, 1 colorless. 2/2. Gets +2/+2 as long as you had another creature into the battlefield this turn. Seems bad. Like, okay, unlimited. Savage Swipe. 1 green, target creature you control gets +2/+2. If its power is 2, then it fights target creature you don't control. Only if its power is 2. This card's pretty bad. Unless you have a bunch of power 2 creatures in like a limited deck, that card's bad. Scale Up. 1 green. Until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a green worm with base power and toughness 6/4. And it's got Overload 6. Okay, this card's pretty interesting. Now think about this card in Infect for a second. It does not take away Infect. It does not lose its abilities, so basically any one of your Infect creatures becomes a 6/4 until end of turn. Now that's 1 mana for basically a 5 damage boost. There's no card in the deck except for Become Immense, which is a 6 mana card with Delve that gives +6/+6. This card seems very powerful in Infect. So yeah, this card was like tailor-made for Infect. So I'm gonna try this card out. I play Infect. Infect is one of my favorite decks in Modern. I'm definitely gonna give this card the good old college try, and we're gonna see how good this card is. Yeah. Also, this card makes for a lot more turn 2 wins. Do you know why? Because a Scale Up and a Might of Old Croja is a win on turn 2 if you play Glistener Elf turn 1. If you go Glistener Elf, Scale Up, Might of Old Croja, game over. Scale Up, double Mutagenic Growth, game over. Scale Up, Mutagenic Growth, and any other pump spell in the game in your Blossoming Defense. Groundswell will do it by itself. Yeah. This card is disgusting. It is disgusting. Like, yeah. Like, this is going to make so many more turn 2 wins. I have a feeling they're going to ban this card. This might make Infect, like, way too good. It might just give you way too many turn 2 wins. It's like, if you can't remove my creature, you lose, basically. So they basically have to have a 1-drop removal or hand destruction and hope that you don't have 2 of these in your hand. Like, this might just straight up replace Become Immense. Yeah, we'll see. Seems bustedly powerful for Infect. Spore Frog. 1 green, 1/1. Sacrifice Spore Frog to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. He's a Fogger. This is a reprint. For 1/1. Not very good. Fog effects are just not good, even in limited. Spring Bloom Druid. 1 green, 2 colorless. Yeah. Excuse me. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your land for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them on a battlefield tap. Then shuffle your library. So he's got ramp. This card might be good. I don't know. It's a ramp card for 3. I mean, there are better ramp cards out there. Like Farseek, which costs 2. And Search for Tomorrow, which costs 1. Yeah, I don't know. It gives you a 1/1, so like if you're facing like a really fat, this might be good in Valakut. If you're fighting, maybe the deck changes a little bit because you're worried about getting rolled over. It gives you a blocker, so. Squirrel Nest, two green, 1 colorless enchant land has create a 1/1 green squirrel token and tap it. This is a reprint. This is an old card. Came out in the same. I think it's Urza's. It was definitely Urza block. Probably Urza's Legacy, just like Deranged Torment. I think it came out in the same set. Will this card be good? I don't know. I don't know if this card is playable in Modern. I mean, Bitter Blossom is playable, but that just automatically makes it every turn and only costs 2. This might be playable, though. Popping out a 1/1 every turn. I don't know. It might be playable. We'll have to see. Like in the Green Value Town deck, I don't know. I don't know if this card's playable. Alright, Temperate Sliver. 1 green, 2 colorless, 2/2. Sliver's you control have whenever this creature goes combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yeah, I don't know if this is good enough. I think Muscle Sliver is just better. The ones that get +1/+1 to all slivers. Yeah, I don't think it's good enough. For 3, too. It's like Tornado. 1 green, 2 colorless. Destroy target creature with flying, instant speed, and cycle. This is kind of cool. It's like a plummet with cycle. You can play it in limited. That's about it. Like a one of. Treefolk Umbra. 1 green, 2 colorless, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2 and assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. And it's a totem armor. If enchanted creature would be destroyed, instead remove all damage from it and destroy this aura. Wow. If that costed 2, I would actually consider playing that in Infect, but 3 is a little bit high. 3 is a little bit too high. Oh, they brought Wall of Blood. Alpha NC! What's up, buddy? Boom! Yeah, we're doing a little set review alpha of Modern Horizons, this big set that's coming out. But we're almost done with it. We're gonna play some. Ooh, I need to go check how much Dark Souls is. I might actually have to do that after this. I might have to pick up Dark Souls. We'll see. We'll see. Treetop Ambusher is 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/1 with Dash. Okay, Dash came out of Origins, I think. The core set. 1 green, 1 colorless. Whenever Treetop Ambusher attacks, target creature you control with +1/+1 until end of turn. Oh, so you can give it to himself. I don't know. He's alright. I don't think he's playable, but he's alright. Trumpeting Herd. 2 green, 2 colorless. Create a 3/3 elephant creature, and it's got rebound. So it creates 2 basically for 4. I think this is good in like limited. That's about it. Twin Silk Spider. You know next to nothing about Magic, but you'll hang out. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, Magic's complicated. It's a complicated game. I've been playing it for like 25 years, so like yeah, it's just like intrinsically in me. I've played all kinds of card games, but yeah, like I said, we probably got about 15-20 minutes left of this set, and then we'll be switching gears. Twin Silk Spider. 1 green, 2 colorless, 1/2 reach. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/2 green spider token with reach. This card seems okay for like limited. It creates 2 creatures, but for 3, yeah. You could play it. You could play like a one of in limited. Unbound Flourishing. Okay, this is a new. I did not see this card yet. 1 green, 2 colorless enchantment. Whenever you cast a permanent spell with a mana cost that contains X, double the value of X. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell or activate an ability, if that spell's mana cost or ability activation cost is as X, copy that spell or ability. You may choose new cards for the copy. Wow, this card's super powerful. This card's super powerful. So you get to double the value of X, and then you get to duplicate the spell. You'll give me the rest of your bits if I play Dark Souls tonight? Okay, well, you drive a hard bargain. I might just have to do it. I might just have to pick it up, Alpha. I might just have to. How much is it right now? The remastered version. Like 20, 30 bucks? Yeah, this card seems really, really powerful. Yeah, this is like crazy, like power level for 3 mana enchantment. I could definitely see this card getting. I think this card's powerful enough to play in modern. I don't know what kind of deck would be around this card though, but I would definitely say this card's playable. Wall of Blossoms. Okay, Wall of Blossoms is a good one. It's basically Wall of Omens but green. 1 green, 1 color, 0/4 defender. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. So this card came out in like, this is a really old card. This is like Tempest, I think. Maybe not that old. It's really old though. But yeah, I think Wall of Omens gets played sometimes, so I think this is definitely playable in modern. I don't know what deck it would go in, but definitely modern playable. Weather the Storm. 1 green, 1 colorless. You gain 3 life. Storm. Whoa. Okay, so if this isn't an anti-freaking burn card, I don't know what is. This card is insanely good. This is like... And an anti-storm card. So if someone storms off on you and, like, you know, uses their finisher of Grape Shot, you basically gain 2 extra life for each spell they've cast. So they do 1 damage for each spell they cast, and you gain 3 life for each spell they cast. So basically you're netting 2 life on each spell cast. So this is an anti-storm card, and it's anti-storm and anti-burn. This card seems really good. I could definitely see this as a sideboard card if burn's really heavy in your meta. It's 40 bucks on Steam, but G2A has 25. But what's G2A again? Is that third-party one that, like, you have to subscribe to, and you, like, get games for cheaper there? Webweaver Changeling. 2 green, 3 colorless, 3/5. Changeling reach. When it enters the battlefield, if there are 3 more creature cards, you gain 5 life. This card seems alright for, like, limited. Alright, the last green card. It's a reseller. Isn't that place kind of shady? I don't know. I've heard things about that place. Winding Way. 1 green, 1 color. Sorcery. Choose creature or land. Reveal the top cards of your 4 cards of your library. Put all cards of the chosen type revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. This seems really good. This could easily be a 2-for-1 for 2 mana. I think this card is playable. For sure, playable. Like in an elf deck, you're like creature, you get like 3 creatures. Yeah, I'd say this card's playable in modern, for sure. Like, and I'm thinking like elves. They buy a lot of keys when the game is on sale and they mark them up slightly. And then they just have the leftover ones for when the game is not as popular anymore. You bought a lot of games from there? Okay, I'll check it out. Alright, we're on to multicolored creatures. Abominable Tree Folk. 1 blue, 1 green, 2 colorless, star, trample. Power and toughness equal to the number of snow permanents. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature. It does not untap during their untap step. It seems decent for limited, maybe. I don't know. Depending on how many snow-covered stuff you can get in. Actually, you can't probably get very many. So this card's probably not very good. Unless, like, the snow deck becomes something. I don't know. Cloud Shredder Sliver. 1 white, 1 red. Sliver creatures you control have flying and haste for 1/1. This seems pretty good. This is a 2-in-1. They usually play 1 sliver for each of these types. For flying and for haste. So, this actually seems really good. This actually might replace those in the sliver deck. Collected Conjuring. 1 red, 1 blue, 2 color. Sorcery, exile the top 6 cards. You may cast up to 2 sorcery with 3 or less costs without paying the cost. Put the exile cards not cast on the bottom in a random order. That seems strong. If you're playing a lot of sorceries, I don't know. Yeah, if this were instant and sorceries, I think it would be decent, but I don't know if it's just sorceries. It might be just terrible. You can see the sellers too and what other people have rated them and how many keys they have sold. That's cool. So it's like eBay, basically. It's got like some cred behind it. Eladamri's Call. 1 white, 1 green. Instant, search your library for a creature card, reveal that card. Put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. This seems pretty good. Yeah, you could use this in like a Vanifar deck or like a, you know, like a Value Town deck maybe. If you hadn't just spent a ton of money on a nice vape mod, I'd give it to you. A vape mod. Are you a vapor? Oh wait, no, you vape the Chiba. Yeah, we had this. We had this conversation before. I think this card's playable. I think it's very limited use in Modern, but I think certain decks would use, certain like specific decks might use it. Etchings of the Chosen. 1 black, 1 white, 1 colorless. Enchantment as it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures of the type get +1/+1. 1 to sacrifice a creature with the chosen type. Target creature you control gains indestructible until inferno. Okay, this is again. Oh, you just started with normal vapes? Oh, okay. I see. I see. This is another card that's like for the Changeling decks. This is a really cool picture too. I like this. It's very like H.R. Geiger-esque. Yeah, if Changelings becomes a deck, this card is definitely good for it. You're taking a tea break now, so you wanted some nice to puff off while you're off the magicals? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, did you hear, like, Illinois just legalized it, I think? I think it was Illinois. I read some Twitter, like now there's like 11 or 12 states that that marijuana's legal. Awesome. It should be legal in all 50. Like, come on, people. It's legal here, by the way, too, so, yeah. Oh, wait, you don't live in Illinois, right? Oh, wait, do you live in Illinois, Alpha? You do, don't you? Going into effect next year, 2020. Oh, you're by the Chi-Town. Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Get some. It's all, like, old news to me because we were, like, the second state to get legalized. It was, like, Washington and then Oregon and, like... Or it was Washington, Michigan, Oregon. I think we were the third state to get it. But it was all very close together. We were all very... Okay, Fallen Shinobi. 1 black, 1 blue, 3 colorless. 5/4 Ninjutsu 4. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top 2 cards of their library until returning. You may play those cards without paying their mana cost. This is super powerful. And you could definitely fit this into like a fairies deck with like Bitter Blossom and like Stutter Sprite and like all the little creatures. But I don't know if you can fit this in. Maybe like 1 or 2 of these. It could be really, really strong. Like really strong against certain decks. Like what if you like hit a Tron deck with this or something on turn 4 and you just like get their like Ugin or Karn or something. So I'm going to say this card might be playable. You were down in the city and you ate at a rotary sushi station for the first time? Nice. Is it like a high quality one? Because sometimes those places can be like fucking shady. Like, don't go to the shady ones. If they're like, you know, really hot inside and like there's kind of a smell, don't sit down. Leave. Like, leave immediately. The first sliver. Okay, this is 1 of each color, 7/7 Cascade, and sliver spells have Cascade. Okay, this guy's insanely good. Like, I think this card is just going to straight up replace the, not the Hive Queen, not the Sliver Queen, but the Overlord in Modern. Or no, Overlord wasn't even in the Sliver deck, was it? Wait, was Sliver Queen playable in Modern? It's not, is it? Or maybe it was Sliver Hive Lord. I think there's a Hive Lord also that they play, but I think this is just going to be the best of the 5 color slivers. So yeah, I think this is going to be in the Sliver deck. It was good, but your friends saying they had a much better one. Always, yeah, you definitely want to go to like very high quality versions of those. They have those in Japan, like really good ones in Japan. But you have to make sure that like their shit just is like, you know, because it's raw fish, so you have to make sure like, you know, it's kept at the right temperature and like the system is like functioning correctly. Good Fortune Unicorn. 1 white, 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/2. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Yeah, I don't think that's good enough. That card's not very good. It's cost 3 for a 2/2. It's whatever. Hogak, Arisen Necropolis. Dude, this guy's fucking crazy looking. He's like just this mountain of corpses and like these tombstones. That's awesome. Okay, so he's 2 black or green and 5 colors for an 8/8. You can't spend mana to cast a spell. Okay, he's got Convoke and Delve. You can cast him from your graveyard too, and he has Trample. Dude, this guy's a beast. This guy is beast. There's never been anything with Convoke and Delve on it, and you can't cast spell mana, dude. So you have to cast this with creatures and Delve cards. So you can do 5 of it from your graveyard, and then but 2 of it has to be green or black creatures. About how many magic cards are there in total? Shit. I don't know. Roughly, there's probably like what? Well, we can look at the expansion sets. How many are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times 8, which is 80 plus 40. There's about 120, 130 sets. These are just, is this all of them? Yeah, there's 131 sets. And then times that by, like, we'll say 250, because some sets have 300, some have like 200. So 130 times 250. Roughly like 32,500, I would say. I mean, some of the cards get reprinted, like, and they're exactly the same, so like it's not maybe not that, maybe like 30,000. at least, different Magic cards. So a lot. I mean, but the game's been out for, it'll be 26 years this summer. Yeah, it is a lot of cards. But over 26 years, it's not that much. Like, they come out with like a set every, like, 3.5, 4 months-ish. Ice Fang Quaddle. 1 blue, 1 green, 1/1 flying flash. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. It has Death Touch as long as you control at least 3 other snow permanents. Okay, so this is the Baleful Strix that they made for this set. It, pretty much is like a Baleful Strix in every way, except it has Flash, which Baleful Strix doesn't have, but it also doesn't have Death Touch unless you have 3 other snow cover permanents. But this thing is a beast. This thing is a complete beast. If you have 3 snow covered permanents out, this card is really good. This card is going to see tons of play in Modern, I think. Tons of play. Just like Baleful Strix sees play in Legacy. Ingenious Infiltrator. 1 black, 1 blue, 2 colors, 2/3 ninjutsu for blue and a black. Whenever a ninja control deals combat to a player, draw a card. This is like the ninja of Deep Waters, or Deep Hours, yeah. So this is a black-blue version of the ninja to Deep Hours, which is blue and white, or blue and a colorless. Yeah, he seems real good. I mean, you have to play black, but this might be playable. I mean, the Ninja of Deep Hours sees, like, fringe play and, like, you know, like blue-black decks. So he can maybe be played instead. He's slightly better. Are there brackets, like only certain decks? Yeah, there's formats. They're called formats. There's basically standard format, which is the newest format. It's basically only goes back, like, you know, up to, you know, 7 sets, up to the most previous 7 sets, and then, like, once you get to the 8th set, the last 4 sets rotate out, so then you got 4 sets, and then you get 5 sets, 6 sets, 7 sets, and then when the 8th one comes, the 4 phase out from there, the 4 oldest, and that's the newest set. That's the set that's like kind of like the flagship format of Magic. And then you have the Eternal formats, which are modern, which is the one that uses all cards from 9th edition and forward. So all cards made at 9th edition and forward are playable in modern. And then you have Legacy, which goes back to the very beginning. All cards are playable, but there's like a ban list. There's a ban list. I mean, there's a ban list for modern too, but there's a ban list and like and then there's Vintage, which is all the cards, and there's a restricted list. So they don't ban cards from Vintage. That's the oldest one, but they restrict them, so you can only play like 1 of a card, whereas normally you can play 4 of a card in Magic. So yeah, those are the different. There's also limited format, which is like, there's Draft and Sealed, where like Draft you get 3 packs, and you do this thing called drafting, where you take a pack and you open it and you take 1 card from it, and you're sitting at a table of 8 people, and then after you take the 1 card you want, you pass the pack over, and then the other person to your right passes you their pack they just took 1 card from, and then you take a card from that, and you do that until every card is divvied up, and then you make a 40 card deck out of the cards that you get, and then you play like the people. And then there's Sealed, which is you just get 6 packs of cards, you open them all, and then you just make a 40 card deck out of those 60 cards, or out of those 6 packs. And those are the 2 limited formats. Alright, Kaya's Guile. 1 black, 1 white, 1 colorless. Instant. Choose 2. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Exile all cards from opponent's graveyard. Create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying, or you gain 4 life, and it has Entwine. Dude, this card's super sweet. I like this card a lot. Yes and no, Alpha. Like, there's a lot of skill involved in drafting. Like, knowing... Like, drafting itself, like, I think is a skill. But in Sealed, where you just get the 6 packs and you open them and you don't... And you just have to play with those cards. Yeah, you're at the mercy of, like, what you get for that. I don't play Sealed very much because it's... It's very luck based. God damn it. Fucking thing fell apart. Little shit. I'm not eating that now. Shit. Alright, there was a little rip food, yeah. Fucking rip Power Crunch bar. My low carb protein bar. It's okay, they're not that good anyways. Okay. This card seems really strong, Kai's Guile. You get to choose two. It's a 3-cost instant, right? And just like getting a 1/1 flyer and having them sacrifice a creature for 3 seems really strong. Or exiling their graveyard. I think this card's really strong. Now, how many decks are there that play white and black, though? Again, this seems like a card that you can play in like the Mardu Pyromancer deck. Other than that, oh, you can play this in Esper. This goes right into Esper control. Yeah, this card's really cool. I like it. You could definitely play that in Modern, for sure. It's got a high power level. Alright, Kess, Dissident Mage. 1 red, 1 black, 1 blue, 1 colorless, 3/4 flying. During each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If you cast a card this way, it would be put in your graveyard, exile it instead. Wait, this is a reprint, isn't it? Yeah, this card was it was a commander card, and this was legacy playable. But I think it got banned from legacy. Did it? No. Okay, this thing's pretty beast, but it is Grixis, and Grixis is very unfavored right now in Modern. This is super strong, though. This card's super strong. This is definitely like for Grixis. I could definitely see this card being played in Modern. Super high power level. Lava Belly Sliver. 1 red, 1 white, 1 colorless, 2/2. Sliver creatures have when this creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker, and you gain 1 life. This is actually kind of cool. Is it good enough for Slivers? I don't know. I think Slivers is more of like a critical mass deck. So like just like chipping away at them with this, I don't think is like where you want to be. I think you just want to be like making your Slivers big and killing the opponent with them. Ooh, Lightning Skelemental. This card's fucking badass. I love this card. Dude, 2 black, or 2 red, 1 black. Trample Haste 6/1. So it's like a Ball Lightning, right? Which Ball Lightning isn't playable in Modern. But when it deals combat damage to a player, they discard 2 cards. And you sacrifice it at the end of instep like you do with Ball Lightning. But it's basically a Ball Lightning, but better. But way better. Like, this card is fucking crazy, dude. This is, like, this card seems really powerful to me. Like, if you get this off on turn 3, and they don't have a removal, like, I feel like it's almost GG. They discard 2 cards and take 6. I mean, if you're playing, like, a burn deck, if you're playing a black, because there are black splash burn decks, and this goes right into it. This goes right into a black splash burn deck, like 100%. This card's crazy good. I would play with like 2 of these, maybe 3 of these in a burn deck with black splash. I love this card. Absolutely love it. Alright, Munitions Expert. 1 red, 1 black. Flash, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may have it deal damage to target creature or planeswalker due to the number of goblins you control. Again, this card seems good. I've never seen a goblin deck with black splash, but I mean, it's possible. They're usually mono red, but if goblins becomes a thing, that could definitely be a thing. If you have like 5 goblins in play that does like 5 damage, that's super good. Alright, Nature's Chant, instant. 1 white or green and 1 colorless, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Okay, so they finally made naturalize. And disenchant 1 card. Yeah, Nature's Chant. It's basically naturalize and disenchant, so it's like both words put together. I don't know why they made this card. It's silly. Like, it's not. None of these cards get played in the sideboard. So yeah, it's kind of like just a reprint of a card that doesn't get played. Reap the Past. 1 red, 1 green, X sorcery. Return X cards at random from your graveyard to your hand. Exile, Reap the Past. Oh my god, this card seems incredibly good. If you've only got 3 cards in your graveyard, then boom, you spend 5 mana and you get 3. It's a 3 for 1. This card seems good. I don't know what deck this would go in, but it seems good. I like it. Rot Widow Pack. 1 black, 1 green, 2 colorless, 2/4, reach. 5 mana to exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach. Then each opponent loses 1 life for each spider you control. Whoa, this seems really good and limited. Probably not. For each one you see, 10 CU. Gross. Spiders are everywhere right now. It's like getting all warm outside. Spiders show up everywhere. Gross. Alright. Yeah, probably not in constructed, but that's a good limited card. Runation Rioter. 1 red, 1 green, 2/2. When it dies, you may have it deal damage to any target equal to the number of land cards in your graveyard. Wow. Okay. Don't know if this is actually going to have a place, but it's got kind of a cool ability. Ooh, Seb McKinnon. Dude, I love Seb McKinnon. Your artwork is badass. Dude, spiders are nasty alpha. I don't like them. Nasty. They're not of this earth. I call them Zerglings, like from StarCraft. Whenever I see a spider, I'm like, ooh, Zerg. They're alien. They're not of this planet. Soul Herder. Dude, this picture is fucking awesome. 1 white, 1 blue, 1 colorless, 1/1. Whenever a creature is exiled from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Soul Herder. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile another target creature you control and then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Wow, this card's crazy. This card seems really strong. Dude, I love the fucking artwork on. Dude, Seb McKinnon, dude, I want like 5 of his pieces of art on my wall. Yeah, this might be too cute for modern, but like again, this would have to go into like a they eat mosquitoes so you can't complain too much. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they help a lot. They get rid of flies and mosquitoes and like all the nasty flying insects and shit. Yeah, but they are themselves nasty. So I mean, you know, half a dozen really. Yeah, this card's probably too cute for modern, but it would have to go in like a Death and Taxes with blue splash deck. Thundering Djinn, 1 blue, 1 red, 3 colorless, 3/4 flying. When it attacks, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. This card is good and limited. That's about it. Unsettled Mariner, 1 blue, 1 white, 2/2 changeling. Whenever you are permanently controlled, becomes the target of a spell or ability and opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless it's played. Pay 1. This seems really good. You can put this in the humans deck. Wow, you could put any of these changelings in the human deck, and they're humans. Dude, what the hell? Um, seems totally playable in modern. Ren and 6. Oh, this guy's gonna be busted for legacy. 1 green, 1 red, Planeswalker, 3 loyalty, +1, return up to 1 target land card from your graveyard to your hand. -1, Ren and 6 deals 1 damage to any target. -7, you get an emblem with instant sorcery cards in your graveyard have retrace. Yeah, this is like insane for legacy, for Wasteland, yeah. I don't know if this card is going to be any good in modern, but legacy it's going to be insane. Altar of Dementia, 2 colorless, sacrifice a creature. Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrifice creature power from the top of their library into their graveyard. Wait, what? Oh, it's a mill card. Okay. I don't think that card's very good at all, actually. Mill decks do not play creatures. Amorphous Axe. 2 mana, equip creature gets +3/+0 is every creature type, equip 3. Yeah, that's kind of a bad equipment. I don't see that being played. Arkham's Astrolabe. Snow mana. When Astrolabe enters the battlefield, draw a card. Add 1 mana of any color for 1 colorless. This is alright. This is kind of a card that goes in like a combo deck, but I can't really see a combo deck that it would be good in. Letting you draw and cycle and stuff. Birthing buffs. 3 colorless, 4 colorless, and tap. Create a 2/2 colorless shapeshifter creature target with Changeling. Hey, if Changeling becomes a thing, boom. Farmstead Gleaner. 3 colorless, 2/2. Doesn't untap during your untap step. 2 mana untap to put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's decent for like limited. Fountain of Ichor. 3 colorless. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. 3 colorless. Fountain of Ichor becomes a 3/3 dinosaur artifact creature until its turn. This is really good. This is like super good in like limited. Probably not for constructed. This is not fast enough, but I like the card design on that. Icehide Golem. 1 snow mana for a 2/2. Okay. If there's ever a snow deck that's like aggro, that might be good. Lesser Masticore. 2 colorless for a 2/2 has additional cost to cast a spell. Discard a card. 4 colorless. It deals 1 damage to target creature. Persist. Yeah, this is like Masticore, but not as good. Because it can't regenerate. Yeah, this is a good card for limited, maybe. Actually, I don't even know for limited. You have to discard a card to play it. It's got Persist. Yeah, maybe for limited you could play it. Mox Tantalite. Suspend 3 for 0, add 1 mana of any color. Yeah, this card I think could be Suspend 2, and it would be playable maybe. I think Lotus Bloom is just better than this card in every way, and it's playable, and definitely Mox Opal is better than this card. But they definitely didn't want to throw another colorless Mox into the, more free mana into the game. So they made it a safe suspend cost. Like if you get it turn 1, like it might be decent, but if you get it outside of turn 1, this card's not going to do much for you. Scrapyard Recombiner. 3 for modular 2. Tap to sacrifice an artifact, search your library for a construct card, reveal it, put it in your hand. This might be good. He does cost 3. I don't know. You could maybe put this in your Hardened Scales Affinity deck. Ooh, Sword of Sinew and Steel. Dude, that's beast. That's fucking beast. Look at all that blood coming off that bone blade and flaming. That's badass. Equal creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from black and red. When you were in the city, you demoed the car for a friend and did something totally ridiculous. What? Did you run from the cops? Did the cops start to chase you and you, like, outran them? You set up a car alarm with the base? Dude, you're insane. Your car is insane, bro. Your car is actually insane. Okay, Sword of Sinister. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to one target planeswalker and up to one target artifact. Is that really that good? Protection from black and red is huge, though. That's like every removal spell in the game except for white. Probably like white and black are the two best colors to have protection from, but have they ever made... Yeah, they made a sort of light and shadow. I mean, this protects you from like all the burn side, though, too. Like lightning bolt. Planeswalkers are not super relevant. Artifacts are more relevant, but like, again, this seems like a sideboard card. But definitely playable sideboard card, I think. Sword of Truth and Justice in the American way. 3 colorless equipped creatures +2/+2, protection from white and blue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature and then proliferate. Again, I don't know how good this card is. I mean, like, none of the swords get played in Modern. So I don't think either of these swords are going to get played in Modern either. Because, I mean, they require creatures to use. So, like, they're just not good enough. Like, you have to have a way to, like... The only reason they're played in Legacy, and you only play the Sword of Fire and Ice in Legacy, is because you have... the creature, that name is escaping me, who lets you get any equipment out of your deck when you play it. Which is just bonkers. And that card got banned from Modern, so you're probably never going to see swords in Modern. Talisman of Conviction. 2 colorless to add 1 colorless, or add a red or a white, and it deals 1 damage to you. This is... Did they never make the red-white talisman? Is this new? Because they had talismans before. Or is this a reprint? Oh, they did the opposite colors. Okay. So basically they made 5 talismans of the opposite colors. Because they had the same colors, or the light colors. So they have, for the opposite colors now, they have the blue-red for creativity, they have green-blue for curiosity, hierarchy is black-white, and resilience is black-green. I think that's a good call. I like that. I think these cards seed fringe play. Like, I play one in my Bant Eldrazi deck. I play the white-blue one. Alright, Universal Automaton. 1 colorless, Changeling for 1/1. Okay. If Changeling becomes a thing, that might be useful. Ooh, they have one of each of the cycle lands, too. They got Barrenmoor, which is the enters the battlefield tapped land. Tap to add 1 black. You can cycle it for 1 black. Then they have 1 for each of them. Lonely Sandbar. Forgotten Cave for red. Tranquil Thicket for green. And, Secluded Step for white. Dude, the pictures are really nice, too. I like them a lot. Yeah, these are going to see some play, probably. I mean, probably in the, like, control decks, maybe? I don't know. Control decks want their mana untapped, so these are going to be very limited use, but I think they're going to see play. And then you got these pain lands, these pain cycle lands now that are rare. Fiery Islet is tap to pay 1 life to get a white or a blue or a red, and you can pay 1 colorless and tap and sacrifice it to draw a card. So it's basically like a Horizon Canopy, but you can't tap it for colorless and not take a life. So you always have to pay a life when you get... Dude, these are already worth $25. Are you kidding me? My wallet, no. Yeah, okay, these cards are are great, but I don't think they're going to be included in as many modern decks as people think. I think only certain modern decks can afford to put these in them. Because between shocks and fetches, like, you need, first and foremost, you need mana fixing, which is shocks and fetches, okay, in any deck. You need basics because of, you know, Path to Exile, Blood Moon, various other Field of Ruin. You need basics. You need at least 2 basics in your deck. Like almost every deck in Modern plays at least 2 or 3 basics. So you just straight up have to have fetches, shocks, and basics for like fixing and like for like different meta things. So you're only really going to have room for like 1 or 2 of these lands in any given deck, and I think only certain decks are going to play them. Now the burn deck, especially, the burn deck's going to play 4 of them. The burn deck's going to play 4 Sunbaked Canyons, which is the white-red one. It's the 2 colors that they use, and it lets them have reach later in the game. So 4 of those are 100% going into burn. Infect is another deck that I think is going to play Waterlogged Grove. I'm going to play probably 2 of these in my Infect deck because it's a cycling card. I don't really care about my life because really I am killing you really fast usually, so like life's not a problem. And so I'm probably going to put 1 or 2 of these in my Infect deck. I think it's a good call. And you're going to play like the Fiery Islet in Storm. Like, you're going to replace, what's it called? The blue-red Pain Land for these instead. Because they really don't care about their life total either. But beyond those 3 decks, there's like maybe maybe humans can fit 1 in. I think Joel Larson was saying that you can play, the red-white one, Sunbaked Canyon. You can play 1 Sunbaked Canyon in your humans deck because it helps you play like Mantis Rider, and it also lets you play turn 1 champion. But yeah, you got to be modest about these cards. People are thinking like, oh, we're just gonna like put a bunch of these in our decks, but no, I think it's only gonna be like a couple, maybe 4 at the most for like burn and like, you know, storm, and like, you know, I can't think of any other decks that are going to put 4 in, but okay. Let's look at the rest of the lands. Cave of Temptation. Add 1 colorless, or tap 1 colorless and tap to add 1 mana of any color. Tap 4 colorless and tap. Sacrifice it, put 2/2/1 counters on target creature. Activate it like a sorcery. I don't think this card's good enough. You could play this in like an Eldrazi deck, but I think the other lands are just better. Frostwalk Bastion. This is the Manland, the Snow Manland. Really cool picture. Tap to add 1 colorless, tap a Snowland and 1 colorless until end of turn. It becomes a 2/3 construct creature. When it deals combat damage to a creature, tap that creature and it doesn't untap during its unstap. So it's basically got the Ice Touch ability. Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Tap to add 1 color. Oh, this is a legendary land. 1 colorless, or tap 1 white and 1 colorless. Tap, put target enchantment control from your graveyard on top of your library. This actually might get played in like a Shrine of Nyx deck. There are like Academy Runes got reprinted too, I believe. So I can maybe see this in Fringe play and Modern. Do I buy cards? No, this isn't this is just a site that shows like spoilers for the sets coming out. You can't buy cards from this site. There are some sites you can buy, but no, I don't really buy cards. I trade for cards. Like, I have such a big collection now that like I typically don't spend money on Magic, and like the cards that I do buy, like I play tournaments every week, and then I win store credit from winning tournaments, and I typically am like way more positive than I am negative. So like I accrue like credit, and once I get to like, you know, 100 or more credit, like I'll buy a couple cards. But I have so many cards already and so many decks already that like I could just trade pretty much for what I want, and like don't really spend money on Magic that often. Wait, this doesn't have all the cards here. I feel like we're missing. I thought Academy Runes was getting reprinted. And then you got all the snow-covered lands too, which all look very phallic. They all have very big phallic symbols in all of them. I think they're all right looking. I think the plains are probably the best looking. Mountains okay. I don't like the forest or the islands. The swamp's all right. Yeah, they're all right. I'm not a big fan. Oh, Prismatic Vista. Tap and pay 1 life, sacrifice it to search for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield. So it's basically like, do I have playmats too? Yeah, I have like 7 playmats that I've like won from various events. Prismatic Vista seems decent. I don't know what decks would actually play this card, but this guy's saying Bant Eldrazi, but I don't know. I play Bant Eldrazi, and I don't know if I want this card. Because typically I want a shock land. I mean, I do play 1 of each basic land, but I mean, you can get those with normal fetch lands, so I don't really need this card. I don't know a deck that would play this card. I'm not sure. Get one with my Twitch name on it, get some views. Yeah, I could do that. Magic's only like a part of like what I do with streaming though. Like it's only like a part. But I think that's every card. But I heard someone said Academy Runes was getting reprinted. Oh wait, Academy Runes. Oh no, they're talking Hall of Heliod's Generosity. Yeah, this is the new Academy Runes, yeah. So it's the Academy Runes for enchantments. Alright, I think that's every card. Yeah. I think there are like a bunch of cards in this set that are going to be playable in Modern. I like a lot with what they did this set. I love the force cards, the cards where you get to pitch a card instead of paying their cost. I think this set was really balanced. They didn't go too far on... Oh, Flusterstorm's in this set too. Did we not see Flusterstorm? Okay, there's Flusterstorm. For some reason, we didn't see Flusterstorm. It's a reprint of a legacy card. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller plays 1 colorless, and it's got Storm. So basically, like, yeah, it counters the Storm effect, basically. That's what it was created for. Do we see all the blue cards? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, we saw it all. Alright, that concludes our review of the set Modern Horizons. Boom. I think the set's going to be great. There are a bunch of cards I want to pick up from it. I think there are going to be, you know, new cards that are like staples in Modern. And I think it was a really well-made set. So yeah, this video is going to go up on my YouTube channel, which is lock_daddy. You can watch it on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/lock_daddy. Follow me on Twitter, which is @lock_daddy1 for updates on streaming and Magic and whatever else is going on in my life. And yeah, we'll see you next time.